All right, everybody. I'm just getting set up here. I got Alec. I'm going to go ahead and get this recorder all set up. So, John out here with you. It's a Monday, May 20th, 2024. I got Mr. Alec Nava here with me. Let's get into it. Game 7, the Edmonton Oilers and the Vancouver Canucks. Conor McDavid, Hyman, Matthias Ekholm, Evan Bouchard, Leon Draisaitl, Evander Kane, Dylan Holloway, Darnell Nurse, Vincent Desharnais, Ryan McLeod, Warren Fogle, Derek Ryan, Sam Carrick, Matthias Janmark, Connor Brown, Brett Kulak, Cody C. Stuart Skinner, probably be the goaltender of record today. And for the Vancouver Canucks, head coach by Rick Tocchet, sounds like this: JT Miller, Pius Suter, Ilya Mikheyev, Quinn Hughes, Philip Peronic, Elias Lindholm, Dakota Joshua, Connor Garland, Carson Soucy, Tyler Myers, Elias Pettersson, Niels Hoglander, Sam Lafferty, Teddy Bluger, Phil DiGiuseppe, Niels Amon, Nikita Zadorov, and Cole, and Arthur's Shelovs. So I know we're in the middle of the WNBA game between the Sun and the Fever. If this goes over to the point, I'll flip on the ESPN app. But Alec, this is Game 7. I know I've seen some things online saying whether or not how good this series has been, but just the game that you covered was the Game 6. That wasn't a one-goal game. I'd say it's been pretty decent.
I mean, it's been back and forth. It's a rather wonky series. But
yeah.
Wonky in a very good way. The first 5 side by 1 goal with late game heroics in 3 of those 5 games. The game I covered, it was a 5-1 game, but one that Edmonton was looking for. I was questioning at first, and since you go back to Stuart Skinner, but it was the team in front of Skinner that did all the work. Start off with Dylan Holloway making Conor McDavid proud with the first goal of that game. After the tying goal by Niels Hoglander in that first period, everything took off for the Oilers, including the perfectly timed goal for Evander Kane. And I mean, when I say perfectly timed, fans were singing to Living on a Prayer by Bon Jovi, and the prayers were answered with going up the fix-up. How amazing is that?
Absolutely crazy. Again, that was the one that you covered there in Game 6. Every other game has been a one-goal game. We've had 3 2s. We've had 4 3s. There's been a lot. Game 1 was an instant classic, the 5-4 to. On the Sportsnet side, I see the players coming out on the ice. We're scheduled for a 9:15 puck. Sportsnet would be way ahead of both Alec and I, so I'm going to try to use the ESPN feed. But the towels are waving at Rogers Arena. And the big news today, Alec, we got that a little bit yesterday, but no Brock Boeser because of blood clotting issues.
And that was the biggest blow for Vancouver. No Brock Boeser for the rest of the playoffs, given that he is out because of blood clots. Scary situation. They say he's down on his leg. And all the best wishes to Boeser. Recovery, given he's the second player to have blood clotting issues this season after Freddie Anderson is saying it's no joke when you deal with blood clots wherever you may be. It's not life-threatening, but it's serious. And I wish Boeser the best in his recovery. But with Vancouver's hoping that they can deliver him.
Let me ask you this, Alec, in all honesty. I know we're a few minutes away from puck drop, but just first blush here. I know we're trying to be professionals. We have fun, get the articles and all that, work really hard. But I know Brock Boeser is a gigantic piece. Arthur Shelovs has been a hero of sorts. Does Vancouver have a chance to win this thing if they have another one of those games where they only have like 12 or 13 shots on goal? It's been too many times already that it's happened in this series.
It's not sustainable. If you have been limited to that many shots on goal, it's not sustainable. Edmonton's been firing at will in Game 6 and has been forcing Vancouver to be limited on those shots. Game 3, those types of games against Nashville, that's a one-off. You win while having 12 shots on goal, that's a one-off. You're not going to get much wins with that. You have to keep firing towards the inside. Take risks towards the low slots. That's what Niels Hoglander did on the only goal for Vancouver, and JT Miller on his winning goal.
I would preach that theory as much as you preached it there, Alec. I think that was well said, because when you play the Dallas Stars on Thursday between one of these teams, it's going to take a much better effort than we've seen maybe from 3 or 4 of these games. I mean, look, we went from Game 6, and I understand you're able to cover a little bit of a blot there, but in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, really? They're going back to Calvin Pickard? Or going back to Stuart Skinner after Calvin Pickard play a couple really good games? But it really was Stuart Skinner didn't have anything to do with it. So both these teams honestly are going to have to step it up in a big way if they're going to be able to beat the Dallas Stars in that series, realistically, to me.
Yeah, realistically, I had better hopes for Vancouver in beating the Dallas Stars in a Western Conference Final Series. No Boeser's win. Final between the Sun and Fever. The Sun win 88-84. So on to Vancouver it is, but realistically, I have better hopes for Vancouver defeating the Stars than I have in the Oilers. The Oilers, they can rack it up from their top-heavy team. Vancouver is balanced all around. That they don't have Boeser. What do you do now with the goal scorer? You lose your best goal scorer.
Right.
Now, essentially, your best goal scorer now that you have available is JT Miller.
And I'm looking at it realistically, as you said, in the second line between Elias Lindholm, Dakota Joshua, and Conor Garland. Now, Lindholm's good on his own, and Joshua has had a couple of good opening games in this series, but that's a lot to ask of your second line. Elias Pettersson on that third. Again, if it is a situation with Sam, there's a lot for Elias Pettersson to do. We're still battling injury. And I understand that everybody's battling that this time of year, but the second, third lines, especially without Brock Boeser in the lineup, they really take a hit today.
Yeah, they really did. With Boeser being out for the remainder of the playoffs and his status being uncertain for the long haul. We don't know when he's going to come back. What we do know is that's going to be at some point next season for Boeser, but it's a big hit.
And I heard, at least for Thatcher Demko, again, no Rick Tocchet here on this side for Thatcher Demko, but maybe if the series goes on to Dallas, maybe game 3, game 4, we could see Thatcher. So that is something. We're underway right now at Rogers Arena. It's game 7. Alec Nava, John out here with you on this one. I'm glad to be joined by Alec, and we will continue to move this around as we did in between the second and third, as that overtime kept us pretty busy last time in the previous series. So this is sent around on the left side red line, and we'll start the Vancouver Canucks. They'll send this back around to the right side of the end boards, and Miller takes a big hit. This one goes out of play. We're already starting the serenades. We're getting all the feelings. In both of these broadcasts so far for Vancouver, I covered 2 home games, and they're 2-0. Maybe that's a good omen for them.
Well, if signs are any indication, then perhaps it could get there. Remember game 1 with that big-time comeback for Vancouver in regulation. What the heck is going on this ESPN camera?
Hopefully that doesn't mess around too much, because I will have to go to Sportsnet. Right now we have, okay, it immediately goes to black, and then there's a chance out front for Conor Garland. So that worked out for Vancouver. Now left to right. Cody C. canceled off by the glove of Sheloves.
I guess both the feeds of Sportsnet and ESPN, there was now you see them, now you don't. It's Conor Garland out in front of Stuart Skinner with the first legit opportunity, which he was right on the face. Once again, they're curious. They was go to Skinner for game 6. Kind of worked.
It did, especially when you know that he didn't have to do much. I mean, it felt like he was just taking a regular jog in the morning. Really wasn't anything else too strenuous for Stuart Skinner. And it's kind of crazy how it's been, considering Vancouver's had more of those games, and it's still a 3 series. It's just get more shots on Skinner. I think Vancouver can win this one today. That's kind of how I felt throughout the series. Leon off the backhand, still continuing to try to move it around the horn here. This will be set Vander Kane. And it'll be a turn and fire chance. Vogel, what a stop! Sheloves lost his stick in the process. And the Towels will definitely wave for that, but I didn't think he would be ready for it. We're just a minute and a half pretty much into this game. My goodness. As it's Cody Ceci now. Hyman couldn't find it, and Teddy Bluger. Like Shelov's already into this game.
He's already looking like blind Thatcher Demko on the ice with that amazing save. The initial shot from Dylan Holloway, and then off the skate of Ian Cole was redirected right onto the open stick of Leon Draisaitl.
It's unbelievable. And again, if I'm Ian Cole, I will say this: I feel like a magnet toward the puck. I understand a defenseman can be. Sometimes he's been in the wrong situations. Sometimes I think Ian Cole's just been unfortunate throughout this series. But Draisaitl doesn't score, and Shelovs makes a terrific. So we'll start again. Lost it inexplicably, and this will go back to the Vancouver defense trying to find an entry here. So for Connor McDavid, the 3 assists in Game 6. So if they can keep Connor McDavid silent again, that'll go a long way. Shelov's able to cancel that one off with the left pad. RNH trying to locate her off the spinning turn. Here's number 97. Connor McDavid, beautiful sauce pass to Bouchard, but I didn't tongue-tongue myself. And this goes now to RNH, off the drop back to Evan. And the forwards will take a change for Kris Knoblauch's squad. They're amongst a chorus of boos, and I can understand why you're booing Evan Bouchard, because he's kind of been lighting it up like a pinball machine. He's had a great series. As this is sent in. Good hit. And near the right side boards by Carson Soucy. This goes D to D, though. Darnell Nurse will send it around. And Nikita Zadorov, Tyler Myers will get this one out. Good stick in the lane. Knocked it away from Yanmark. And now Desharnais trying to get his pass across. A little bit of a side broadcast camera here, as this is going back down for Rick Tocchet's squad to take a change. So shots are already where they are. Kind of gets Alec and I nervous here for Vancouver. It's 4-0 Edmonton with 16:30 left to go in the first. We talked about that a little bit in the pregame. That can't be sustainable. As Zach Hyman, this puck bounced off of him, and now Cole back out there again. We'll try to take this right to left, and the Orca jerseys put.
I wonder how much longer it's going to take for the main camera to be restored on both feeds, with Skinnery 6-3. But the stats are telling 297 GAA, 881 save percentage. He does have that one shutout. That was Game 4. He stopped all 33 Kings shots in that first round series. Now Edmonton is trusting him in this elimination game and the winner-take-all matchup. Very curious as the Oilers, they have the first 4 shots up.
I'm glad you agree, and I'm glad you said it that way, because I would have felt bad if I was the only one. I'm not saying Stuart Skinner can't do it. He just hasn't shown you the ability to be able to lock things down, when honestly, this series could already be wrapped up if they had some average goaltending. Gets to the right side. This one goes near the left side post. First chance off the rush for Vancouver. This will be funneled toward the net, and now the Edmonton defense got to get busy, get this one left or right, as this will be a race for the puck now. It'll be Philip Hronek. They'll get shoved with a shoulder. This one will go right in this series. As this one's bounced up in the air, Joshua can't locate it. And now Cece. Get this to the left side red line and fired around for Shelovs. He stops it momentarily, lost where it was, but this will be JT Miller. Always watch out for him. He's a really good two-way forward. I think he probably dropped that too soon. He didn't get a chance to get a handle on it, but the defense is there. Hughes will shovel this backhand. Pettersson. Wow, good reverse hit there. Pettersson able to stay on his feet. Here's a shot toward the net. Pettersson gets knocked down. He could have put that into a wide open goal. And a good shift. Hyman off the rush. Stopped by Shelovs. It's close. And Bouchard gets robbed by Shelovs. That's some good action back and forth.
And so far, so good. Vancouver, good looks off the rush. Elias Pettersson on the entry. John Boutigras asked, will he score a big goal tonight? Because he's seen Pettersson ever since he signed that extension. They're hoping that he gets on his move here in Game 7. He had some looks. Quinn Hughes on the key. Was Zach Hyman on the rush on the other. Both goaltenders tested early on here. Our referees, Chris Rooney, John Hebert, Wiseman, Devin Berg, Johnny Murray.
Edmonton can do now with this offensive zone draw. They have their bottom 6 line out there. I think this was Yanmark, but this will go right to Shelovs. They startled now for Tyler Myers. We'll try to get this one right to left. And this will be sent down, but icing is whistled. 14:50, scoreless first.
I thought it went out of play for a moment, but if we look at the dicey commotion between the Kings Zadorov and Game 6, They got a little bit together here in Game 7. Could get dicey if we see these two square up again.
It is funny. I do want to say this openly, Alec, and feel free to respond. But in the sense of, I saw some Oilers fans and Nikita Zadorov's play and say Zadorov better keep his head up. I mean, really, he's got 6 inches on everyone else and 50 pounds. I don't think Zadorov's intimidated at all. Do you?
He's not.
No, I wouldn't think so. As Vincent Desharnais was a big human being, he takes a hit. The shots are 6-1. As this is spun around the inboards here for Quinn Hughes. Hughes will send this one D to D. Rister, this gets blocked. This was a break for Edmonton. They thought they had a chance to get the puck, but it's deep on the left side red line. And we'll start again as this goes back to the neutral zone for Quinn Hughes. They'll just make the safe play, throw it in behind Stuart Skinner. About 14:05 left to go in the first. I know Alec Vision's a little bit ahead of me, but we're glad to join you here for this Game 7. Here's a good chance, Mikheyev, and he can't finish it. My goodness, he was all alone. Here's a chance toward the right side, dot blocker before it ever hits Skinner. And Vancouver hasn't had a lot of chances, but that one could have been the first goal of the game, as this one goes in the netting.
I wonder what that pass attempt was from the Oilers. It almost bit them, but Ilya McCabe was right there to take it away. First game back from injury, already making impact, but hit the side of the post. That's a bad pass on the breakout attempt. I'm not sure who they're trying to pass it to.
No, and that's one of the situations too that we talk about in the pregame. Alec, let's say Edmonton advances. You do this kind of stuff against Dallas. And look, I understand Dallas has played a long 7-game series. That double overtime heroics that you helped me call, and I appreciate that because you did a lot of heavy lifting. We stayed up late. Dallas, and that series is going to be short.
It's going to bite you. If you keep making those sloppy passes, Dallas is going to continue to bite you should you advance over to the conference final. If you make those sloppy passes at your own zone, we figured that Western Conference final would be the Oilers' ceiling, but more competitive than what we saw in 2022 when he got swept by the Avalanche. And no shit to the Oilers, but the Avalanche just happened to be a very good team that's hungry for the Stars. The same thing. But you do that against Dallas, which are a very good defensive team, you'll get burnt.
Yes, you will. And it's kind of interesting as we talked about Dallas a little bit during this commercial break. Okay, you beat the Vegas Golden Knights, defending champion. You beat the Colorado Avalanche, champion from 2 seasons ago. Eventually, you go into this third-round matchup. This might be the easiest matchup you have for the rest of the way.
Well, de facto easy because nothing truly is easy for any one of these 5 teams that's remaining. But Dallas, this could basically be the most relaxing matchup that they can have in a sense. If it's Vancouver, if it's Edmonton, well, even if you're not supposed to take them lightly, it's a little easier on paper.
Yeah, because then after that, you're going to have either Florida or New York, and that is not going to be easy. Although, whatever we get in the Stanley Cup final, if Dallas is in it alongside either one of those two, that's going to get an excellent final. Hopefully, that'll make up for the one that we got last year because Vegas essentially was injured, but they earned what they deserved, and that's what they got. They got a Stanley Cup. This goes live in off the backboards. Wanted an exaggerated slapper for Holloway. He's still calling for it, but they're not throwing it there. And this is loose for Dakota Joshua. His sauce pass, he couldn't get it out initially. He will now. Vancouver's got a chance off the rush here if they want to take it. And this is a knuckle puck right to Skinner.
I was wondering how they did not find Dylan Holloway at the high spot. I'd be wondering, too, if I'm Holloway myself. You get yourself some space to fire a one-timer through, and the Oilers don't even locate you. You got to give the kid a chance. But if he was truly closed off by several Vancouver defenders, I can understand, but you have to find the passing lane for this kid.
I think so, Alec. The stick was wide open in the air. I mean, what does he need to wear? Bright yellow? He was open right in the middle of the slot.
Yeah, I mean, he don't even find him.
This is now toward the right side down. A defensive zone face-off win. Cody Ceci, good pass in off the bank. And this will be sent in for Quinn Hughes, who tries to retrieve this thing. This is turned over right to the left side and saved by Knoblauch.
and taking the pucks away from Vancouver early in this game. You're carrying the momentum over Game 6, and a quick takeaway lead to a quick shot for Derek Ryan. An unlikely goal scorer if we would see him potentially score a goal for Edmonton here in this Game 7. But early on, it's favoring the Oilers. So far, so good for them.
Yeah, I like your call on that previous defensive play because they jammed it up toward the right side red line of that boards and they funneled that turnover into traffic. We'll see if Edmonton can continue to do that as this is bounced away from Pettersson. We'll get it back though. But there's Conor McDavid off the intercept as this one will be shoveled into the players' bench. Another stoppage. We've got a lot of those, but it's 7-2 right now.
Yeah, so we have so many stoppages as of late. Though for the last 2 games, Vancouver did ship Elias Pettersson to the home and Niels Hoglander, which brought mixed results to an extent. Now Pettersson's back his natural position of center. He's with the third line Hoglander and Lafferty. With Hoglander, that's your ideal go-to winger if you want some scoring looks.
So that's what we'll watch for, because honestly, I wasn't going to ask you that. I'm glad you brought it up. Tyler Myers near the left side boards. Off the spin and turn. Good defense here for RNH, but somehow Vancouver finds that puck through a phone booth, and this will be sent back down. And around the end boards now and started again for Edmonton. They'll go ahead and let their take a change. John here with you alongside Alec Nava. We're at Rogers Arena. This is Game 7. And whoever wins this one is going to play Dallas on Thursday. That's when Game 1 opens for them. We got an off day tomorrow in the NHL. So now that my plans have been squared away for today, got a chance to spend some time with the missus. Tomorrow, I think I'm going to cover Boston and Indiana.
Yeah, how are we doing, Andrew? Now looking good for your Griffins right now. 3-0 Admirals.
Oh, wow. So Grand Rapids Griffins, I'm glad to hear them not expecting that score line.
I mean, guys like us just can't get enough of hockey. We're watching. I got NHL, I got the games, I got Canucks Oil on one screen, and I got Admirals Griffins on the radio, local radio over here. So.
Hey, take what we can get. We like to see that because we're hoping in the October side you might see more of the Griffins go up to the Red Wings. So that scratches the itch. It's good to have that again. Alec always helps me bring everything else into light because this guy's a hockey encyclopedia. I just try to bring the voice a little bit sometimes here and there, as it's Dakota Joshua on the left side red line, and this one will be sent back in again. Off the left side boards, JT Miller gets pinned, as this will be picked back up now by Darnell Nurse. You got Draisaitl out there as well, trying to get this one left to right, and now here are the Oilers off a 3-on-3. You can always watch where Nikita Zadorov is. He's got to get in the shot lane, and he did so there with a block off his left knee. This will be sent now back on that same side for Joshua. All the way back to Skinner. Shots are 9-1, and we're almost halfway through 7. This is the start that Edmonton's had most of the time throughout this series. Vancouver's not had enough of a pushback, as somehow they're still 3-3 in the series, but they can't continue this type of level of activity. As this is sent around the end, it's picked up now for Derek Ryan, who just McLeod spinning around the end boards now. Good finish of a head, Ilya Mikheyev. Try to find it. It was off of Derek Ryan. Sent back in around the end boards and intercepted by the Orca jerseys. They'll flip this one back down. And I think a hand pass, a little bit of a late hit. And that's going to draw a crowd. Players getting rocked a little bit. And we're getting some chaos.
If everyone's going at each other's throats after the hand pass, Malfine got interfered with, and that forced him to try and glove it down with the hand. Couldn't materialize, and he is hot. On a push. Good old playoff hockey between two Canadian teams. What more can you want?
No, that's what you want to see. Again, it's been a long time for Canada to have a team in the Final Four here and have a chance to have legitimate Stanley Cup aspirations. We thought we saw that a couple seasons ago. Colorado Avalanche said no. That was a really good block from Nikita Zadorov. He's been a good pickup over from the Flames.
And then Vancouver and continue to do so. Zadorov has been with the all-around impact, some offense you bring to it, both through the defensive tenacity and the physicality. That's what makes him an exciting defenseman. He may not be the best defenseman on the Canucks, but he's perhaps the most exciting.
4 goals and 4 assists for 8 points. Would we have expected that? No, but he has stamped in on this series. Does he always have the offense? I can say he does because he covered a lot of Flames games over the years alongside Alec and Cooper, so we've seen a lot of that. This is picked up. McDavid combination pass, Draisaitl, Hyman. This one gets picked off. JT Miller off the bank for Pettersson. Sent back down. Matthias Ekholm, he's been another really good pickup last year from the Nashville Predators. Here is Connor McDavid with the wheels. His long wrister glove save she lobs, but man, oh man, the speed is the first thing you notice.
I mean, he saw Dylan Holloway get that speed over in Game 6 in the first period on this goal. Is answered that with a goal of his own, trying to replicate what Holloway did in Game 6. Instead, he shoots the right circle to fire the shot on Shelots, didn't make it all the way through. 96 points through 60 games in his playoff career. He and Draisaitl are animals in the playoffs.
Yeah.
This year, no different.
Let me ask you this, Alec. Do you think McDavid's faster with the puck?
I would believe so.
Because I really think so. I think he gets an extra gear when he has the puck in his possession. Good face-off win by Fogle. This will go D-to-D. This one hits the glass. Cody Ceci now on the right side red line. There's a pass. It doesn't find anybody. This will be 9-1. Do something against Stuart Skinner. Make him sweat. I think you might have a chance here if you're Vancouver, but I just don't see it happening right now. 1. Now for Cody Ceci off the drop. This will go in the high slot, and now Ian Cole will try to locate, and everyone else will take a change for Rick Tocchet's squad. Cody Ceci, send it back in one more time, away from Nikita Zadorov. Off the half spin there is Ian Cole. He's almost out full of Peronics. Confused at top of the jersey number. As this around behind the inboards, Cole will get it one more time. Pass from 80, as this is near the left side, and man, oh man, what a hit that was. It's loose out in front, and nobody can get a stick on it. Dakota Joshua was there. Draisaitl, 3-on-2 developing left side. Draisaitl, stick drag shot, saved by Shelops, as this goes in the left side red line. Vancouver, good backhand. Try this right to left. They'll gain the entry from 100 feet. They'll shoot it in, as it's saved by Skinner. A little bit of a Bronx cheer as they get a shot on goal, and they're at home. After right pick up here for Edmonton. Pinball pass will go right back to the defensive core for Kris Knoblauch. They'll start again with Vincent Desharnais. Pass too far, and again Vancouver just carelessly turns it over the other way. Here's Connor McDavid, wide open pass from right to left. Shelov's able to get a piece of the blocker. RNH send it back to left side D. Put it back around the inboards now for number 97. In between a couple players. And settle back down now full of Peronic. Make the outstretched pass. And this will be sent back around again. Change. I noticed that shift there was about 40 seconds for that top line. As this goes for Ekholm. 7:45 left to go on the first round, and here with you alongside Alec Nava. Shots are 10-2, but we're scoreless. This is left side. And a big rebound, and somehow Shelovs didn't give that one up. He didn't. As it's Pettersson, his pass for Boeser. This gets blocked. Picked up around the inboards now, and now this will go right to left. Pettersson try to get a piece of it. An opportunity now for McLeod. He will take a chance that goes off the end of the cage. Spin and turn, and Shelovs mercifully gets a hold.
Garland had that good look at the far side of the net. That could have brought the first goal of this game and brought the roof off of this building here in this first period. Edmonton still with good looks at the front of the net. Even some pinball bounces, some awkward bounces. So this remains scoreless by some way, shape, and form.
Yeah. That's really the only way you can say it, Alec. I agree with you. This game has been one-sided. Does this game feel, because I know you covered, feel like Game 6 to you so far?
So far, by the pace of how the Oilers are playing, it feels like Game 6, or more like the first period of Game 6, just without any of the goals from both sides. That's what it is thus far. The goals, but the Oilers are controlling the pace of play. Hopefully, it results in a convincing victory for them, and less of what happened in Game 3 when the Oilers got goalied by Shelovs.
They did. And right now they're getting goalied, 12 out of 12 for Shelovs. Skinner, just 2 more saves than Alec and I. 2 out of 2. 7-14 left to go in this first as we've hit the second commercial break of the period. I wish I could tell you more, folks, as far as what I think could change, or sometimes I'll throw out some coach speak and this and that. Right now, I can't throw any of that stuff out to you because the Vancouver Canucks need to take this puck north-south and start getting some shots. That really is the long and short of this. If they do not get this pushback, Arthur Shelovs is not going to be able to take much more, I don't think.
I'll just leave behind my first goal picks here in this Game 7 on a possible Game 7 challenge. I'll take Phil Hronek to get the first goal for the Canucks. If it is the first goal for the Oilers, I'll go with Leon Draisaitl.
On the Vancouver side, if Philip Hronek gets it, again, I should buy you some lottery tickets because he needs to get some points on the board. He's had a slow second half, a slow playoff. Hey, why not? I'll go ahead, former Red Wing too. Give me Pius Suter. I'll take Suter, and I'll take Evander Kane for the Oilers.
I like that pick as well for Kane to get on board.
Now a defensive zone draw. 12-2 are the shots. Hell, I should just say Nikita Zadorov the score because that's probably likely. He's been really good. But I'll go with Pius Suter, as this is CC. Off the drop, Holloway. A wide open pass, but it goes right to Vancouver. Ian Cole got dumped. He's slow to get up, but he will get his defensive responsibility. And now Miller, he gets upended by Holloway, loses the puck, and this will go right back to the left side blue. So everybody can take a change. We're already near the players' bench, might as well. 6:35 left to go in the first. John and Olivia alongside Alec Nava. Game 7 in Rogers Arena. Shelovs will have this bounce back. Now we'll get some pushing and shoving here. Carson Soucy wants a piece, and I don't think there's going to be much of this as the Zebras are separating everyone.
Yeah, not really much of the gloves drop. Even though Soucy wanted to go after Conor Brown. Brown has been a season one. That's all I'll say about him. The deal was a low-risk, high-reward move, knowing that there's a possibility that Brown could get back to his former form with Ottawa, but it just here.
Secondary goal scoring, Alec. Games that we've done, maybe for a couple of seasons as well. It's just not been there for Edmonton. Yeah, you had the RNH resurgence. You've had some Evander Kane, but for everybody else, who is going to help out that core of 97 and 29? And we'll see, again, what their ceiling is. We've talked about it. I still agree with you. WCF. Will they ever win a Stanley Cup with them? That's something. Garland. Darnell Nurse. That's someone they're paying a lot of money to. Conor Garland near the right side boards trying to shove it loose. Here's an opportunity now for the Oilers off the half skate. Here's a cross pass. And this one will get picked off for Fogle and Brown trying to send this around the end boards. And Philip Hronek will go ahead and take this one from 60. Good defense there for Edmonton. A chance near the right side. Got room. Work this off the wraparound. Big rebound. And Dakota Joshua cleans up the mess. Now Ian Cole. Ted Bluger. He'll spin. Put this around the end boards now. Bluger tries to find it. That'll be Neil Zaman. Excuse me. As this is sent around the end boards for Phil DiGiuseppe, who scored a beautiful goal a couple of games ago. Up and behind the cage. 5:25 left to go in the first. Edmonton now going to take this left to right again. They're on the road with the white jerseys, blue and orange striping. You got the Orca blue with the green and blue striping on the other side for Vancouver. As this is sent around. Left side boards. Good spin for Hyman. Going to find some space for McDavid. He's working in behind the cage. His pass. Good contest. Hyman. Excellent job keeping the puck amongst the traffic. He ran out of gasoline. This is intercepted by Philip DiGiuseppe. We'll send this one in. Stuart Skinner. Very slow touch. Get it to his defense now. Man, oh man, this game has felt one way only, but we're still keeping the voice pipes sharp here as Ian Genji has joined us. This is sent down the left side, and this is a lob pass in front of Vancouver's net. Elias Pettersson, turn on the wheels. I'll put this in the right side red line. And a good stick in the lane. Here is Miller, as he'll pick this one back down around for Ilya Mikheyev. Mikheyev, former Maple Leaf. This around the inboards here. This will be chipped off the glass. Pettersson. Get it right to Zadorov. Still working behind the cage. Vancouver. Nice work off the forehand. Trying to keep it alive with one hand on the stick. Put it in behind the cage again. Vancouver is working this D-to-D. Here's a tip a couple times. Send it toward the net. And again, Vancouver elects to hold. We'll take it D-to-D. Slap pass around the inboards. Now Pettersson. But one more time for JT Miller. I think we're getting a penalty. High sticking right to the face. And Vancouver on the power play.
Double minor on Ryan McLeod. They're looking for blood of Elias Pettersson, but that was clearly a high stick. Very clear right on the nose or the cheek area. And Pettersson, he's grabbing himself. That may be a sign that it's 4 minutes. So Vancouver has a chance to crack first.
It's going well, man. I'm actually watching the end of the Royals game because this is one of the few times I actually get to watch the team.
Yes, it's on national TV today. You get to see my dumpster fire Tigers. Hopefully the Royals get the win.
Unfortunately, a line drive knocked out your starting pitchers. Sorry for that.
Yeah.
And you want me to tell you what happened in the sixth, or do you already know?
Just saw the box score. My eyes got wide.
Yeah. It started with Salvador Perez hitting a solo bomb, and the inning ended with Salvador Perez batting.
Oh, that's always nice when you get to bat around.
Yep, 6 runs.
The clock.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what happens. Teams take their time card, they punch in and punch out against the Tigers, unless you're the Arizona Diamondbacks and Javier Baez. They should have just kept him in Arizona and traded him for a player to be named later.
Yeah.
See Rick Tocchet being interviewed by Leah Hextall and Alec. Again, we just talked about this here. 4-minute double minor. You're pretty much at the 4-minute marker here. Vancouver at least gets one. You'd feel good going into the dressing room, all things considered.
This is not the cheek or the nose area, but rather the chin area through blood. So that's what warranted the 4-minute double minor. That was the right call on the officials' part between Kris and John Hebert. And Pettersson, he's back out there. He got tended to by the medical staff. So 4 minutes in the box. If Vancouver scores in this first half, they'll get 2 more minutes to work with.
Man, they got some quick, crazy because he's got blood on the right side of his lip. As Alec just called, that was pretty obvious as Shilobs will send this around the inboards now. So I'm going to give Alec the first 30 minutes. He's going to take all of the second and the first part of the third because he closed the last one. And we'll see. But I think this might already be over. He might get most of the fun because Edmonton's kind of bringing the pain here. But this might be, and I know it's kind of crazy to say it here, but I'll just say it honestly. This might be the best chance for Vancouver to do damage in this game right now. They cannot waste it, as this is an opportunity here for Pettersson on the part of T. Miller. The embankment, taking it from Hughes, and this is a pass that could be picked off right to the Edmonton Oilers, making an easy clear. Send it all the way down the length of the ice. Shilovs cancels it. It's a rolling puck, kind of like skee ball. This will be 3:05 left to go in the Vancouver. Will have about 13 seconds carryover time, but that's essentially not going to mean much by the time the puck drops in the second. So we'll see what they can do right now. This will be off the right side boards. Quinn Hughes, he's punished as this works in behind the cage of Skinner. He hasn't had much to do today. Up by Hughes. Now toward the left side dot. What are they going to be able to do here? Hughes with a touch pass. Philip Hronik is all spun around. All he can do is just send this back on the embankment. Conor, Garland will watch, and let's watch this go all the way down the zone. This is not good right now for the Canucks. And I'll start this. He's got to run your offense. Carson Soucy will send this one back. 2:05 left to go in this first. They've still got 16 seconds on the double minor. If they get some miracle here, Dakota Joshua off the left side red line. It's pinned. You got Darnell Nurse, Cody Ceci. This is just a bunch and toward the left side and sent back down again. My goodness, Vancouver cannot get out of their own way as this is sent around the inboards. I mean, Stanley Cup game second round, and I feel like I'm watching just regular season hockey here, maybe preseason for this power play. Let's get going as it's Pettersson. Now, if the floor off, can they get a shot? Here's a chance. They elect for a pass back. Try to get settled in their offense. Crowd gets restless, and so am I. Quinn Hughes near the right side boards. Aronic tries to step up, and this gets blocked in the lane, goes up for the roof.
Here's a telling stat for the power play margins for the Canucks. They're just over 5% at home.
Yikes.
The crowd's getting restless here with this power play showing at home. The two of us were getting restless because there's not even a single shot. It's a masterful penalty killing operation by the Oilers and forcing Vancouver to go to the outside, forcing them to shoot from those outside lanes. No chance for the inside means fewer chances at the net.
And it's a stark contrast because a couple seasons ago when they got wiped out by the Avalanche, I mean, you looked at Oilers and penalty kill and you could laugh in the same sentence. And now they've been really, really good during this postseason, almost perfect at times. As this goes for Hughes off the spin and turn, he wipes out near the right side boards. See who can keep it in. Philip Aroni takes a big hit, and oh my goodness, here's a break. One-on-one against Shelovs. He stops it, puts it toward the right side of the red line. That was a disaster for the Canucks. Pettersson, Miller to Pettersson, stick in the lane. As this is on the left side red line and pinned again. Darnell Nurse around for Cody Ceci. Quinn Hughes, he's been out there all 4 minutes. Slapper blocked again. Miller tried to lift it back up to his defense. It's too far, goes all the way down the ice. 10 seconds left to go in the first. Mercy me, just kill it already. Right to left. Down to 2. He doesn't get a shot off. Domination for the Oilers after 1, but it is scoreless.
By the Oilers to get one short-handed break and limit the Canucks to no shots on the power play. Vancouver's limited just 2 shots on goal here in this game 7. Not the way that Vancouver wanted to go in this first period. Edmonton's been the better team in this game 7 thus far, and they deserve to be in the Conor proud of all people to be stopped by people to keep this scoreless. Shelovs is the biggest reason why this game isn't 3-1 Oilers by this point.
Can I say this? Because I know it's an easy one. I got both of you gentlemen in here. And you guys are smart, and this is smarter than the question that I'm going to ask. But Arthur Shelov's win, lose, or draw here through 7 games for Vancouver. Let's say they don't advance. We're not putting any blame on Arthur Shelov's, are we? I mean, he's been excellent in this game already once again.
He has. I mean, we didn't know that he was going to step into the occasion was both factored that Phil and Casey Smith went down to injury. The coach coming back, but he is building nicely for the Canucks here in this playoff run. Starting with game 4 and continuing toward hot run. Yeah, he got a 3 goals in his first start in the playoffs. Well, Vancouver did all the work for him from that point forward, but he did make some good saves of his own and limited Nashville to just 2 goals the rest of the way in the rest of the first round series. The Oilers are a different animal given that they like to score in bunches. Well, Shelovs has backstopped the Canucks to several crucial victories and stolen games for them.
Yeah.
Game 3 being the prime example.
I'm glad you said it that way, and that's kind of why I brought it up. On the other side for Stuart Skinner. And let's say Stuart Skinner played at the level that Arthur Shelov's did. That would actually give me aspirations and thoughts, Alec, that they can make the Stanley Cup final. But right now, Stuart Skinner hasn't had to do anything again. Just like in Game 6, he didn't have to do anything. He has been maybe, I don't know, I don't want to be honest here, almost pedestrian, and they're able to get into a game. If Edmonton advances, they need Stuart Skinner to be better, or they're probably going to have to go back to Calvin Pickard.
And they'll have to. Otherwise, Pickard is going to be their go-to guy in the Dallas series should Edmonton advance. Skinner has been very on and off in this playoff run. Yeah, he had that shutout, but everything else, what else really is there for Skinner? I mean, he's okay, but just okay isn't okay.
No, what you have left. I know we talked about some of the NBA stuff when I joined you guys late, and I do want to hit on that a little bit. But we have an off day tomorrow, so no hockey on the docket, but it does give us an extra day to think about what's going to happen in the Eastern Conference Finals. I know it's not Carolina, Alec, on that too, but they did give it one hell of an effort. It is New York. It is Florida. Is that series? There's no way it's going to end before 6 games, right?
If we get anything that's less than 6 games, we consider this series a disappointment.
Yeah.
I think it's going to go at least 6. I could think it's going to go the entire distance. A Game 7 at MSG is going to feed families.
Yeah, I agree with you on that because here's where it is with piece on that, and then I've got something funny to tell you.
Sure.
You guys are gonna laugh at this. So Florida and the New York Rangers. I mean, come on. You're talking about the 2 best teams in the Eastern Conference. It's gonna go 7. It's gonna go 7 because it would take a monumental collapse by either team for it to be anything less than 6. See that? Now it could be that we just find out that one team is just, we could find out that it's not going to be a close fight for dominance. It's just going to be one team finally saying, "Yeah, we're here. You should have expected us."
Mm-hmm.
It could be that, but no, I agree. But here's another bit of baseball. So I'm going to set up the scene. If I were to tell, so here it is. The New York Yankees and the Seattle Mariners for the next 3 days. Or 4, I forget. But for most of the game, for most of this game, the New York Yankees have been leading 4-1. Yet somehow, the Mariners end up winning the game 5-4. Now, if I were to ask you, gentlemen, what do you think your answer would be?
I would have said a reliever blown it, but not the one, because I'm not spoiling anything, but not the one I would have expected. I never would have guessed that, Ian.
Right. Well, John knows. Alec, without looking at the box score, what do you think happened? And when do you think it happened?
I would think that someone stepped up among the hitters. I wouldn't think about a reliever blowing it for the Yankees, but someone on the Mariners stepped up their game. But what was it?
The Mariners ended up scoring 4 runs in the top of that 9th inning.
Wow!
You lost. Yankees lost because I haven't even seen the pitcher who blew it. Who blew it, John?
Clay Holmes gave up 4 runs on 4 hits.
Oh, he's part of my fantasy baseball team.
Oh, Alec, you're taking a big time 4 ERA, which is still sparkling, after he gave up 4 runs on 4 hits and 2/3.
I'm so sorry, Alex.
Oh, really? Henniger, Canzone, and for the Kudima, time.
Yep. Oh. Oh my. I'm so sorry.
That's
Saw this. Brock Besser's out with blood clots.
yeah,
He
we
is
we
on his leg.
Jesus.
yeah, we said that in the open, and I saw the message last night, actually, Ian, from Elliot Friedman that came out, and not good news. Step back into the playoffs at all should they advance.
And yes, absolutely brutal for the Canucks. They lose him for the rest of the playoff run. His health is a first priority.
Oh my. That's devastating. Brock Besser's been one of their most consistent playoff goal scorers.
Their best one?
They're okay. Pettersson, time to earn your money.
Yep, you said it right. I mean, it's going to fall to somebody, and I understand what people are going to say, Ian, on the side of, okay, anybody can step up. It's the playoffs. I get it. Everybody can have heroes. But this is why you pay the guys the big bucks. They'll get it done when one of your members comes out. So I agree with you. They need a big game for Pettersson. Whatever injury he's battling, he's got a on the third line today.
Yeah, we speak of playoffs where unlikely heroes can rise up to the occasion. That's what's the case with Fernando Pisani in 06 for the Oilers. And we go one further in 09 for the Penguins. Max Talbot, Game 7 in the Stanley Cup Final. Line in Game 7s, they have risen up and took matters under their own hands to get the win, even in overtimes. Darius Kasper for the Buffalo Sabres. Derek Stepan. We name all of those overtime heroes all around. Patrice Bergeron with the goal. Alex Burrows, the Dragon. The list can't go on, but it's very long.
Yes, it is. And again, as you said, anyone can step up, but you gotta. I don't care who it is, and I'll just say this honestly because we got 8 minutes before we go to the second period and hand it back over to Alec here for a little bit. But I don't care who it is, whether it's Rick Tocchet or someone else that doesn't really talk in that locker room, or even Arthur Shelovs himself. Honestly, Alec, if I'm Arthur Shelovs, I'm slamming down my goal stick and saying, "Hey, let's get this puck the other way. Let's go, please."
What do you have to eat those full Patrick One?
do something. He needs some help here. He's been more than a hero for them. I mean, honestly, as we talked about in the opening here, he's done everything you could ask and more. Honestly, that's why we're in a 7-game series.
It would be funny if he just takes the puck himself and then.
You might as well. Somebody has to. You only got 2 shots on goal.
Sam Rosen in the MSG broadcast back then when Lost gave the puck himself, he got a laugh out of that one. I know it's not legal, but
Let him do it. He's been that good right now. So right now, as it stands on the ESPN side, officially the second power play is not done yet, but they got 0 for 2 right now for the Canucks because it's about 12 seconds of carryover time. So shots on goal 13-2, hits are 13-11 for the Canucks, faceoffs about even at 10-9. Look good on the kind of power play themselves. They've had a couple of egregious giveaways. They lead giveaways 4-1. You don't want to do that, but everything else has been pretty good for the Oilers, so we'll see what the next 40 minutes can bring. But you got 2 shots on goal now, Alec. I would say at least. I know get it to 10.
you have to. Even if the only shots you got from JT Miller and Elias Lindholm, you need to have everyone else fire after that. It can't just be Miller and Lindholm for the entire game. You have to focus on guys like Garland, Pettersson, Hoglander, Joshua, Hughes, Horonen. We like his game, the both of us.
Yeah, he's been really good in this series. Again, about another 550. I'll go ahead and just ask you, gentlemen, tomorrow, because again, we got an off day here, but we do have some basketball. You got the Celtics and you got the Pacers. I know you talked about it a little bit in game one. Game one more. I think the obvious answer is the Pacers, but do you think they're going to get it?
Well, so I know there are people saying that the Pacers haven't beaten a healthy team, a fully healthy team. Well, I can counter that by saying the Celtics haven't truly faced a full Donovan Mitchell on the Cleveland Cavaliers, but when Mitchell went down, well, you can also bring that argument of the Celtics not beating a fully healthy team. If Mitchell was healthy, this series goes 6 games against them and the Cavaliers. Between them and the Heat, I'd be questioning the possibility the Heat potentially Butler was healthy. Between the Pacers and the Bucks, Giannis Antetokounmpo's health, I think the Pacers win that series regardless of Giannis' health. And for the Knicks, Tom Thibodeau has the infamous reputation of burning his players down to where injuries them. So the Knicks needs this game more. I think the easy answer will be the Pacers, but if the Celtics want to prove that they are title contenders, then I think it's the Celtics who need this game more. In the regular season, the Pacers have constantly given the Celtics fits, including in the in-season tournament. The Pacers are one of those few teams that and they figured them out, in my opinion. So the Celtics, they need to counter with a cycling defense and play a full 48-minute game. Everything cannot just fade after 36 minutes. You need to play the fourth quarter as well.
I like your counterpoint, and I like where your head's at, because I agree. We can go with the. You want to see something from the Celtics? Hell, you want to see them win the NBA championship because you've had that core. And you know what? We talked about some theater, and from last year, talking about embracing the chaos and having the Pacers and throwing them into the. You know what? And some other chaos for this would be for me to have the counterpoint and say, let's put the Celtics in the final, let's put the Mavs in the final, and see what happens to Kyrie Irving when he goes back to Boston, when he was handled the keys to the car and he essentially didn't want it, and then he went back to Dallas.
Oh, every outcome is going to be a very good outcome for the NBA Finals. You already mentioned about the Celtics and the Mavs. Mavs and Pacers would be a reunion for Carlisle down in Dallas.
Yes, it would.
Pacers and Timberwolves, best offense versus best defense. Timberwolves versus Celtics would be best defense versus most complete team in the NBA that's left. Each one of these finals is going to be a very good outcome. I know ratings may take a hit, but parity is back in the NBA.
It is.
I may be looking like this if it's NHL because the NHL has a lot of parity. The NBA getting parity now with no defending NBA finals going back to the no defending NBA champion going back to the finals ever since LeBron left for the Los Angeles Lakers. It's official. Parity is back in the association.
Yes, it is. And again, I was watching this a little bit yesterday before bed, admittedly late, and I saw some of the quotes from Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards. And I think on the TNT side, he goes, normally lose big in order to get to this spot. And he goes, and Karl Anthony Towns goes, we lost last year. He goes, this organization's lost for 20 years. How many more years do you want us to lose? He's like, we're happy to be at this spot. We hope that we can get to the finals. I thought Ken had a good response to that.
I mean, the big meow, as someone would say, for Karl Anthony Towns, they're happy to be at this spot, but they know the big prize. Reach the championship and win it all. That's their main goal for Anthony Edwards and company. Getting to that point, which is basically uncharted territory for them. They've never been to an NBA Finals, whether it be with Kevin Garnett or with Edwards in those two eras.
So you're going to get set to take it away here. We got about 30 seconds to puck drop. So hand the mic over to you, and then we're going to go through the second. You start the third as well. I think you're going to get some goals, Alec. I think you'll get the majority of the action. I probably get the end of it when the game is done, but I don't expect Shelobs to be able to play at that level that he did in the first. If he does in the second, and this game's still scoreless or within one. Maybe Vancouver gets some magic, but Shilov's was masterful, and I just hope for his sake and for Vancouver's fans that he's getting some Gatorade in his system because he's going to get work today.
Yeah, he sure is. He's already has 13 saves this far, and it's still counting. We see the Pacific Coast from Vancouver. Ray Ferraro has played 3 career game 7s. He helped set up the David Bullock overtime winner in 1993 that knocked off the Penguins in the second round.
Ray Ferraro is one of the good ones that they got on ESPN. You could say sometimes with their cast here and there about who they're going to get. Who knows who NBC is going to get cast coverage? That's going to get set to change in a couple of years, but I always liked his analysis.
The NBA, we don't know who's going to be announcing what games. You speak of Mike Tirico and the possibility of him being the number 1 announcer on the NBA on NBC in the revival. Mm-hmm. That's already the lead announcer for Sunday Night Football. 18 of 21 this series, they have not allowed a Canucks power play shot. That's how masterful they've been.
4 minutes of it, too. They got about 13 seconds. And then once this puck drops, it'll essentially be done. Stuart Skinner is probably yawning. We'll see what happens.
Just 2 shots that he has faced all throughout. So on my end, it is underway here. Alec Nava, Ian Ganti. We're so glad you guys can join us here for the second period of action here between the Canucks and the Oilers. So far, the Oilers with 13 shots and the Canucks 2. The Canucks this series have been held to 5 more shots. 12 different players were shot on goal in the first period. None from McDavid and Draisaitl. That's a shocker. Canucks are in the zone. Echo pins his man. Skinner's crease. Nugent-Hopkins pokes his side but lands onto the stick of Hyman. Canucks key is up the center. Recollected by the across for Tyler Myers. Myers sets it up. To the penalty box doors for Blueger. Blueger backtracks. He'll send us around. McDavid was there. Susie. McDavid tried to take it away, but helping Susie out was Myers. Oilers poking forward was Draisaitl, but Myers clears. Would it be an icing? Boeser is going to let this one go for one. And so we'll have the space out to the right of Shilov's.
So again, I know Alec Vision a little bit ahead of me. 13-2 on the shot board. The power play is officially done. It was high stick. Elias Pettersson had to absorb it. Hey, I didn't know Adam Foote was the assistant coach of the Vancouver Canucks. Got to get him over to Colorado.
You think he'd be part of the head coaching staff of the Avalanche, given back in the days of Patrick Waugh. Big shot! The man who scored the first Game 7 goal 2 years ago against the Kings, he has the first goal for the Oilers in Game 7.
Let's be honest, gentlemen. Did you have Cody Ceci on your bingo card right after the clean bomb that goes left, right, back of the net past Shilov's in the square celebrating in Edmonton?
That was not on our bingo cards at all. And then has scored the first goal Game 7 against the Kings 2 years ago. He had the first goal here. That's a big rocket. And the screen in front from the man who scored the first goal in Game 6, Dylan Holloway, who set up that screen, and the Oilers up 1-0. They were due for a goal. Let's be honest. Candian Canucks answer back. They've been heavily outshot here at this point in time. Garland behind that. Can't tuck it in. CC held him on. Zadorov, left point. Back for Garland. Garland, near corner. Watched by Brett Kolak. Spun away several times. Wow, to the net. And that one was banked off a leg. Recollected by Holloway. He can bring some speed here like he did in Game 6. Holloway brought down by Ian Cole. And then right back it just sends Evander Kane on the key to Zadorov. This could get dicey. We see these two got some biscuits with one another. Kane on the hold. And around the horn, this goes over to the near half boards. Lafferty can't get it out. And we have a tripping penalty in scenes against Vancouver. The main key, do not put Edmonton on the power. That's the case.
Oh my goodness, Alec. I mean, I was just going to mention this before the stoppage. Is that essentially going to be that goal from Cody Ceci, the cup of coffee that Vancouver needs to wake them up? No, it's the exact opposite. The Dearborn, Michigan native Dakota Joshua sits in the box, and he just got scored on.
That is the absolute worst timing that you significant as to put the Oilers on the power play. Anytime is the worst time you can have given this Oilers power play so electric. They win a face out. There's Bouchard to Nugent-Hopkins to McDavid. Circles around. Right circle. Looks back for Bouchard is blocked in front. And Vancouver clears it out. They're 5-for-10. Not scored a power play on 8 opportunities in the last 2 games. They may be due for one. They're like hungry sharks waiting. What a move. He scores over to the far half boards. Beat over right in front. Saying, we don't lose it up over the net. Checked out in front. Vancouver looks to clear. And a frantic sequence right in front of Sheila. Who's getting hounded by all sorts of shots with the Oilers. So it looks like a fire drill back there, John.
Yeah, it is. You got to help him at some point. I mean, Shelov's done everything as a third string, as we've talked about. It's got to go the other way once this is killed.
On the right side, it's a beat from Draisaitl to Nugent-Hopkins. Back in the place, Bouchard. The Nuge. Looking back to the left point, Bouchard around. Draisaitl looks to set up. Several more Canucks come crashing up to the near corner. Moves out in front. One-timer. Shelov's got back on time on Draisaitl. 49 seconds on the power play on the 18th shot by the Oilers. They have 6 times the amount of shots as the Canucks do.
Wow. This just looks like a cat right now, gentlemen. This is one-sided.
So far, it is. It's like Tom and Jerry, but with the roles reversed.
Yes, it is.
The mosh pit celebrating that first goal, and inside Rogers' place, they are celebrating as well. But to the fluctuating music, first power play unit is still out there. The Oilers snapped his face off away from Vancouver. There's Bouchard who goes back over to R&H. Goes back for Bouchard at the top of the left circle. Flips one towards the net, and Sheila turned away. Vancouver looks to clear, they do so again, but soon enough you think that they were to get some more odd man rushes. That's not the case thus far. And there's no look for them right now. Here's McDavid. His bird is right over to the right side. Lead pass up forward. Shelov's had it bounced off of him. Nugent-Hopkins drops back. Here's Bouchard. 15 for Nugent-Hopkins. Nugent-Hopkins right around. Down late deep is Hyman. Hyman around to the near corner or far corner around to McDavid. 8 seconds on the power play. Back for McDavid. McDavid fighting Draisaitl right back. McDavid waits. Now back front. Draisaitl. Holy moly! How did Arthur Sheila get back on time to stop?
Oh my God! What a save by Shelovs!
They can't even figure it out at this point. That was a pass from McDavid, and it looked like there was enough room for that to be opened up. That's the save of the game. That's the save of the game.
That was goaltender sliders at 100, gentlemen.
I just went back and watched that say, what? Please, a Vancouver for the love of all that is holy. Give this man a goal.
Yes, please.
Give this man a good stick.
Speaking of a stick, cue the emoji of the guy poking something and label the dead thing.
Wide open. Here's a big shot that's turned away by Storm Scanner. Finally, the Canucks get a shot on goal. Zadorov and Kane. This could get dicey. Here's Kane. And saved by Sheila. The 2 Canucks go down. Simultaneously, Sheila has it. Zadorov and Garland got rid. Not the way that Vancouver wants it. Play gets stopped.
I'm not sure what's even happening here, Alec. You got Zadorov and Garland running into each other. Kane gets a breakaway. He just made the save of the series here, and then immediately gets tested again. As Ian said, it's got to push the other way. Just hang in there for a couple more minutes to try to get something. Zadorov tried to snipe that top left of the mesh, but he missed it. Then it went the other way for Kane.
He was going full speed ahead right on Sheila, just avoided right on time. Zadorov and Garland go at it with one another. 7 shots on that power. CC blocked the passing lane near the Canucks bench. Goes back for Vancouver. This might have been play.
Well, we can say it right now as this goes out of play here. What should the score line be right now? Because it certainly feels like the Oilers should be up by 3. Again, showing Shilovs for Team Latvia being the MVP when they won the bronze medal. It's one of the biggest games of his career. I could say that this man does not fear pressure.
It is not, especially when Latvia won the bronze medal against Team USA at the IHF Worlds. Red Kulak rushing for this loose puck, driven towards the wall by Hronek as Hronek goes down. Kulak across, up in the air, stays out the net as Shilovs held his own in the crease. 14:43 remains here, second period. CC of all people. Oilers poke this one aside. Here's Conor. Brown leading the way for the far side. Brown twists and turns. Yes, you're seeing that shot more correctly at the broadcast between Sports and ESPN. 22-4 is the official shot total in favor of the Oilers. And Cole twisted around from the near corner. Rushing there is Bouchard fakes the one-timer. Bouchard now fires one. Far down in! Evan Bouchard with another big-time strike. What a series he's been having. It's go down the Oilers.
Man, he's set up by the half spin there for Hyman, and that might be the death sentence, gentlemen. I hate to say it so quickly. We're going to do the full broadcast. You're going to enjoy it. But if I don't see anything the other way, what else can I believe right now? I feel bad for Shilovs.
Bullied at the crease.
Yeah. I need to go ahead and parody a YouTuber by the name of Faith Jeff, who's known for his rages. My God, my teammates, I have four motherfuckers.
That's basically what Shilovs has to be feeling now, knowing that he's getting left out to dry. And by the way, that's the 12th goal by a defenseman for the Edmonton Oilers in the playoffs. That's the most in the entire league. The Canucks barely have tested towards Skinner, but it's working well for the Oilers. That puck moves out in front, and it came dangerously close to Shilovs. The Oilers had 23 shots on him. The Canucks have tested Skinner 4 times, and Skinner's managed to stop every one of them. That puck went nowhere for the Canucks. They look so lost out there on the and speaking of lost on the ice, they have an offside against them.
You remember, gentlemen, last year when we did Game 7 in between the Rangers and the Devils, and honestly was getting irritated during the game because the Rangers were playing so poorly. This is how I'm starting Canucks, but honestly, as we talked about with Shilovs, again, I said this in the first intermission, regardless of what happens, I have no blame for him. At some point, if he can't push the other way, it just makes me wonder, how the heck did Vancouver even get to 7 games? Did 2 teams continually just take turns falling on banana peels?
Well, I mean, and honestly, when you think about this, gentlemen, the Vancouver Canucks are only missing one player.
Yes.
Granted, it's their best goal scorer in the playoffs. But I mean, like Elias Pettersson, hello, Carson Soucy, hello, is anyone on the line?
Yeah, I don't.
Anyone there?
I mean, Alec, I know you're calling it. I hate to throw you back into the side of it for the color commentary, but I mean, are you seeing a pulse on the ice right?
Well, there is a pulse for one team.
Right.
It's not the home team, that is.
Yeah.
It's Edmonton with all the pulse. Vancouver, they're just looking lost out there on the ice. There's just a bunch of nothing's working right, except for goaltending, you could say. Whenever they have a look, that's immediately neutralized. The Oilers perhaps playing their best defense of this series. This may be their best defensive game, possibly one upbeat game 6.
I wouldn't disagree with that. I think they could have at least. I think Vancouver, again, as I said, maybe the 10 shots and goal isn't reachable, but the one point they should be there. But the one point that you made during the broadcast that was popped up, which could be good against Dallas should they get there, the fact that they've gotten all these goals from defense, And the fact that McDavid and Draisaitl, especially McDavid, hasn't had to do a whole bunch of goal scoring here, that should serve the Oilers well if they can find that against Dallas should they get there.
Yeah, hopefully they hold on. Then the Oilers can use that momentum and go through the defense and loading up. Cody Ceci is second. Evan Bouchard is sixth. That's another one of those that Zach Hyman is offside. A little too early. And speaking of Ekholm, he's still second on the Oilers defenseman team lead with 3 goals.
Wow. So, I mean, yeah, everybody getting the job done on the blue line. And whatever Paul Coffey did there for Evan Bouchard, I know he was a young man, had some skill anyway. I think everybody's buying in on the Edmonton really needs. If they can just get a little bit better goaltending there for Stuart Skinner, I mean, honestly, you could put a construction barrel back there right now. It wouldn't matter. But we'll have to see what happens in the Dallas series.
And speaking of which, as we look at shots from defensemen, the scoring role could be changed. It looked like the puck deflected off Zach Hyman's stick, so Hyman could get credit for this goal for deflecting Bouchard's shot. He presented himself with the stick at the open lane, but Vancouver still in search of their first goal. That was blocked away by Skinner off Philip Hronek's long shot. Now, for this loose puck, Lafferty got the miss of it, so Suter, Oldwriter also there. Oldwriter emerging. That pass bounced off an Oiler leg. Now it's for Hronek. Now he fires. Bucker save or a pass saved by Skinner. Recollected out in front. Lafferty can't find Suter. Hronek, but it lost for Hughes. When Hughes around Derek Ryan. Hughes ran that front, and Skinner shoved that one down. He'll hold on. 12-13 left.
Alec, I'm going to say it right 12-13, and I mean this for the rest of the game. If I'm Vancouver, this goes against my principality of everything. I'm going for a shoot everything approach. I don't care about clean setups. I don't care about trying to get prime extra passes. Fire it at the net right now and see what Skinner's got.
Test it continuously. Doesn't matter where it's at. You want to prove that he is worth it.
Do something. You got to change your stuff. Be so pretty with everything. It's clearly not working right now. They need shots in a big way.
No far, they're not changing the Bouchard goal to Hyman on the credit. The pass intercepted from McKayev as it's cleared out. Zadorov leads it up. Here's McKayev again. Back for Zadorov. Zadorov sets up for Pettersson. Over to the near corner. Vinny Desharnais is there first. And spins it over to the far boards. Vancouver with the hold. Here's Pettersson behind it. Desharnais shoves up there. Pettersson over the side. Back at the point is Zadorov. Low for now. It's wide to net. And back behind the net. Desharnais got there, but taken away by Vancouver. Pass to nobody at the near corner. Kane can't get this one out. Zadorov with the key. Nobody from Vancouver can get this one in for the slot. Here's Kane. Leonard in. The left side is Draisaitl. Back across. One tiger. Holloway. That's turned away by Shelock. Holloway gets it back. Backhands it back behind it for Kane. Kane. The loose puck came in front. And JT Miller sees this. Lightly taps it for Shelock. Will hang on.
Yeah, it's just continued one way and the other, and that one almost bled through the blue paint there behind the net. It feels like right now, whatever buttons that Edmonton's pushing, they're all the doors are opening for them.
Showing back with Celebrini here in Vancouver, the Hobie Baker Award winner, the projected first overall pick of 2024, most likely going to the San Jose Sharks. And Celebrini, I feel he's having a fun time out here, no matter what the score is right now.
Yeah, I don't think he's thinking with that smile on his face.
I mean, he's thinking of the future, what he could possibly be like, most likely be donning that San Jose Sharks jersey. One Canuck went down. It sets up Matthias Janmark back the other way. Janmark centers him and crashing through the net. Was one of the Oilers, I think that was Tony Ceci who got tangled up. That was fanned on. Now Vancouver goes the other way. Can there be a sign of life from Niels Heyman? Heyman tucks it at the far boards. Onto it. The pass was cut off by Quinn Hughes. And back to the airport is Garland. Garland just fires one Skinner. Easy save there. 5-6 Edmonton now.
Hey, at least you doubled your shot attempts, right, Alec? I mean, you got to start somewhere. I know it's small, but I don't even know if you have to cut this at 2-1, but I would say, Alec, you need to keep it at least at 2-0 at worst.
2-0. So far, you're at a distance. and I know that sometimes the most dangerous lead hockey is a 2-goal lead. Ekholm gets it down. Center ice. Recollected by Vancouver's Flyers for the far side. Intercepted by Edmonton. Enter back in. They do. Oilers have it. Hyman. Plugged down by Sheloff. He'll just hold on to it. 10-15 remaining in the second.
So again, the Oilers right in off the rush of the backhand, able to just fire it in. I mean, look, you got Zach Hyman on that previous one. He was just able to skate right around the defense, hold up the backhand, do whatever he wants right now. So again, I talk about shots on one end, you might have to give up something on the other. But again, keep it at 2, try to find a way at least. And I don't know what Rick Tocchett's right on that sheet, but he might be saying send help.
I mean, they need all the help they can get. I wonder if he's calling this Sedines or
He might be calling.
But you got to think that you need the help of the Sedines here.
Henrik and Daniel, where are you, my friend?
Here's the go to Joshua, tried to set up in front. Garland was tying up. Joshua gets it back. Sets up Carson Susie. Long shot turned away by Skinner. No rebound there, but Lindholm keeps it in. Nugent-Hopkins tied up his man. Lindholm falls down. We say 5-on-5. That was a legal stick check. Oilers get it out. The bouncing puck goes back. Here's Garland, sets up for Lindholm. Lindholm back at the point for Susie. Susie's long shot reaches Skinner. One was blocked out in front. Didn't reach Skinner. Here's McDavid on to left side for Nugent-Hopkins. They drop pass around for Bouchard. Bouchard goes inside. Rebound in front. Garland picks up this loose puck. Now send it over to the near side for Holgrinder. Holgrinder skates around Nurse. Parks at the near corner, trying to find someone. Going back for the point for Zadorov. Long shot blocked in front. Here's we'll leave it up for Hyman. McDavid goes for change. Hyman dumps one in signaling he's at the end of his shift. Shots 26-7. Edmonton in this game 7. It's all Oilers here. Lafferty sets up in front. And the drop pass. Here's Lafferty falling into the net. No shot. Skinner ran out of time with this shot. 8:56 remains. Second period. We'll go to break.
Starting to see a little bit there alongside, Ilya Mikheyev as well and Sam Lafferty. A little bit of pulse there, some chances that we've been asking for. A couple critical goals. We'll see if they give the credit there for Zach Hyman, as you mentioned, going to break. I'll go ahead and double check that really quick as it's 8:56 in the second. Now it is Cody Ceci with his second from Kulak and Holloway at 1:16 of the second. And then 5:50 Evan Bouchard for RNH and Zach Hyman. That's what they got. Shelov's been excellent. 24 of 26. Just 7 of 7 now. 8 of 8 just updated for Stuart Skinner.
As we look at the hit totals from both sides, we may be mentioning time and time again about the NHL fees possibly needing the more hits in the playoffs because that's when games get more physical. So far, it hasn't been much of a physical game per the stats. 20-13 the hits in favor of Vancouver. Imagine that there will be more from both sides given what happened between Kane and Zadorov at the end of Game 6.
Yeah, you would think there might be a little bit of race. I don't think these are two physical teams that want to play that way. I think Vancouver is more built for it, but it's going to be interesting. Should the Oilers move on and play Dallas, again, I'd probably say will by the time of the third period. I'll just give Vancouver a little bit more time. But on Thursday, they like to play a little more physical. They like to play fast as well. But how is that going to work against a top-heavy team like the Edmonton Oilers? Because they had a tough time a couple seasons ago against the Colorado Avalanche, and I'm not sure that the Dallas Stars give much of a reprieve.
You know, and what lines do you put against what lines if you're Dallas? Do you put Robertson on up against the McDavid line? Or who do you go up against? Do you put a defensive line up against another one of these lines? Do you put Mason Marchment's line on Leon Draisaitl's line? So many questions.
There's going to be a lot. It's always nice to see the Stanley Cup, and that part of the bracket is after today we'll be with the final. We got Florida, New York, and now we got to see Dallas, whether it's going to be Edmonton, Vancouver. Edmonton's got a 2-goal lead, a defensive zone draw here.
Nearly dunked one pass towards Skinner on the backhand and scaled wide. Giuseppe again. Skinner said no to him again.
Well, Philip Di Giuseppe's been one of those guys that scored a key goal over the last couple of games, so he's always capable, it certainly seems like. And you know what, Alec? I have to say it. Over the last 4 minutes here, Vancouver has looked better.
Yeah, you need the momentum that you can. So far, 8 shots in the second period after having just 2 in the first. But the Canucks, they look to be locked in here. So the interesting part, they put Pettersson with JT Miller on this line. And this one went out in front. And that was deflected wide. ARNA looks to clear and does so. Vancouver on the hold, but has led it on the basket of Janmark. Vancouver takes it up once again. Hughes lost the handle. Just finds it open. Vancouver can't do much of that. Here's ARNA from the far side. Sends this in to the Robinson first two. This loose puck. Tied by Connor Brown. Still has it. Braced himself. From Sam Carrot. Hughes to the far side for Di Giuseppe. Di Giuseppe's getting this one up. This took a back pass. An awkward feed. Pettersson has to get out. And now it's a feed up for Ilya McKay, who's just come off the bench. Pettersson going out for a change. ARNA sticks away from McKay. Pass deep. By Nugent-Hopkins. Saw that. He'll send this one around. Bluger will restart. And around for McKay, who's tied up. McKay looks to invest in one foot. Can't do it now. Rushing to his loose puck. Nugent-Hopkins looks to keep it in. Fires to the far side. Hyman holds it. Far corner. Nugent-Hopkins driven along for Mathieu. Braced himself. Near half boards. Amon took a poke at the Oilers zone. Boeser recollected. It's 2-0 Oilers. Alec Nava, John Genji. 26-10 shots on goal for Edmonton. Though the hits lie with the advantage for Vancouver. However, it's the score that matters. It's 2-0 Edmonton now. Here's Saronic after the dump in by Edmonton. Across for the penalty box doors. This goes in. Slamming Bouchard onto the wall. Vancouver can't do much of that as Draisaitl clears it out. It's bluffed down by Joshua. Joshua can't get the entry. Puck comes back to him. He'll just flip it off of one Oiler. The puck loose. The Oilers can't get Clapper from Garland. The loose puck could not be fed on goal. Little from the left circle. He sends it for Garland. Skinner on his bread basket. Shuts it down and covers for 6:26.
Oh man. At first it was Vancouver off and do something. The thing is, they're doing things. It's just that Skinner's. They can't get anything past them.
They're starting to get their offense rolling a little bit. I still think they can time setups, but as I said, I don't want to say two things off the side of my mouth. I think keep it clean right now for the second, get some confidence, and then go back into the 30 and maybe run your offense as you did and see if that will jumpstart you. But right now, I'm only concerned about shots here for 6:26 and then making sure that the score differential doesn't get in.
There was a bit of a scuffle afterwards between Evander Kane and Dakota Joshua. Both of them had their helmets removed. Now they're both at the benches. Offensive zone time is pretty much even, but the Oilers, they're making the most of it.
Yeah, they are. A couple of their defensemen able to get definitive goals right now, and C. and Bouchard. CC of his 4 playoff goals, 2 of them have been in Game 7, so next year I make sure I won't forget about that.
And the goal has not been credited on the Bouchard goal. The goal is not credited to Hyman. Here's Giuseppe. Saying rebound low, swept away by McLeod tried to clear his out inside. To the near corner, picked up on this keep it. Vancouver trying to draw themselves within 1. Out in front, Pettersson forced wide in that on the stick. McLeod will try and get on the clear, and does so now. Icing way down. Hughes will pick it up away from Folk. And I had a chance to say it. Giving out good emphasis play. Here's Kulak. At the far corner, several pokes by the Canucks. Kulak lost it to Oglander. Trying to get this to a big dude. This will be a penalty. Over. Clear as stadium. Pitching start. Stuart Skinner's going to go to the crease. Cole rushing after Nurse beats him out. As Cole touches up, I believe this is Sam Lafferty.
Yep, and near the right side dot on the other end, as you said, as clear as day, right in front of the Zebras. And now Edmonton has an opportunity here to play Russian roulette essentially against Vancouver. They finish this one and go up 3 as Kulak gets tripped. That could be it. See, Vancouver started to play a little bit better in the second. No time for a penalty is a good one, especially at this point in the period. So what happens with 5:38 in the commercial break?
You do remember the Oilers had 7 shots on their last power play. That could be significance if they were to be on this second power play. They want to go on their first power play unit, and that's their go-to unit. That's the most dangerous power play unit on the ice. And even though it's not last year.
Yeah, again, there's still a top 5 unit across the NHL teams we have with 32, and now especially in the playoffs going to Final Four. Edmonton's probably most feared, to be honest with you, on the power play still, so you can't give them chances. And we talk about it a little bit in the pregame. Ian's with us now as he's been. This has been a series of you take it, no you take it type of deal. It still went 7. Most of the games were exciting. Maybe game 6 and 7 kind of finally leaned the way we're control of this thing. But I think there's going to be, at least for Kris Knoblauch, let's say he advances, and you go to Thursday against Dallas. It's good that Edmonton's got maybe about 3 more days to think about this thing, because they're going to have to do some cleanup and maybe a little bit of soul searching if they want to go ahead and play against. Because, yeah, you can take the penalty kill. That's been really good. Some of the defensive scoring, that's been really good. But I still think Edmonton needs more if they're going to beat the Stars in the series.
And as we speak, I know the Oilers may be on short days rest up against Dallas, but 3 days. Have time to think about this, but Dallas, they're more well rested heading into the Western Conference Final. They're going to be the host, no matter who comes out of this game, whether Vancouver comes back and wins or Edmonton holds on. So far, it's in favor of Edmonton because of how they played this game.
Yeah, they've had every reason to believe that they're on the front foot of it. Maybe they haven't taken advantage of it. The shop board has, but Vancouver essentially sleepwalked through the first. They look better here in the second, but this is a they have to get it.
And they have to start right now. Given that the first power play is on the ice for Edmonton, Bouchard almost lost to the Bluger. Also on the power play, the only other one, but up milk, he had 7 shots. That could serve as a confidence boost. Nugent-Hopkins finds McDavid. Draisaitl at the far corner. Pass down for Bouchard to deep right point. Around for Draisaitl on to keep it. Draisaitl going down low. And around this goes for Nugent-Hopkins, I believe. Bouchard fighting McDavid on the tic-tac-toe pass. McDavid looks around. Back for Draisaitl. Sees it go over. Nugent-Hopkins fighting right in front of Shelox. Bouchard fighting the right side for McDavid. On for Draisaitl. Draisaitl continues to look. From the far corner, there's no setup. Here's Bouchard. One timer, missed the mark. Nugent-Hopkins, he scores! 2 goals in many days for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. And it's a power play of the Oilers.
Right off the backboards, wide open.
And the Vancouver Canucks are dead. Good night.
Well, it's not over until it's so. We've seen some miraculous comebacks. You remember, the Edmonton Oilers, they thought they had it against the Anaheim Ducks just 7 years ago, but lost it with 3 minutes to go in that game.
I disagree with any of that. I'm just going to tell you, here's a stat, and this is wild. So the Canucks have about 12 shots on goal right now. You got this power play gets converted, and the power play totals here for Edmonton, 8 shots. So, and they've only had 2 of them. So that kind of tells you. Yeah, I thought that was a must kill, but RNH gets his 14th career playoff goal. Vancouver now has to get the next one. There's no buts about it.
No excuses if they miss out on this. Pettersson had it bounce over a stick, and it's Zadorov on the keep. Zadorov, right back this goes. Deep shot, deflected, didn't make his way to the goal. CC on the stick, but takes it away. Vogel secures it away from Giuseppe. Vogel continues to hold. We're the far side. This one sends it side off the tip. Sheloff picked this one up. He'll set it up to the far corner. Could be trouble. McLeod has it. Sheloff. McLeod on the backhand. Just gets it up. Pettersson looks to lead the rush. JT Miller from the Canucks bench across for Joshua. Joshua lost it, gets it back. Near corners Pettersson. Pettersson around for Miller with Desharnais on him. Miller. Right back, this goes over to Joshua. Pettersson at the front of the net. Right back fires. Across. Long shot deflected. It was still wide. Corner. Will be picked up by Vancouver. Here's Hughes. Wide side. Takes it. Now spins around. Back to the left side. Here's Garland right across for Miller. Miller looks to the front. Goes back to the point for Hughes. Hughes fakes it. Up around this goes over to Garland on the bounce out Holloway. Right back for Miller. Tic-tac-toe to Myers and right back. Miller. Hughes. Rocket pass. Back to Myers. And here's Moore again. There's no shooting lane. Now there is one to take the block. Now keeping this in his Hughes. He is shoved. Garland. Zone time here for Vancouver. This is the best that they've had on his zone time. And they lost it as Edmonton takes a Kane right around Hughes. And back this goes with Vancouver leading the way. Back inside. Offside is way up. Garland makes the slapper. Draisaitl blocks out Garland's shot. And Edmonton takes it up. 2:46 to go in the second period. Lead pass from Maroni. And take this inside. Come the Canucks. The idea has pretty much been taken out of this building after the Oilers scored the 3 goals here in the second period. Vancouver can certainly use one. They're not getting one now as Maroni keeps his one around for Olbrander. Olbrander lost it for Nugent-Hopkins, who had the most recent goal. Far corner battle for this loose puck. Loose in front. Scary shut the door. And to keep at the point. Back around this tied up. The Oilers are near fourth. Maroni. This one deflected up onto the crowd. But no. This one kept in. I thought it was going to the crowd. It bounced off the boards. Olbrander over to Maroni. This goes. Out in play. Oilers get it out again. 2 minutes ago in the second period, and the Canucks are getting the best looks of this game. But so far, they cannot beat Stuart Skinner. Nothing on this zone time. The Oilers get this one through. Here's Zadorov starting back up at his own far side. The tap pass. On the far side as they advance it through. Here's Lindholm. Fans on his shot. Bouncing puck recollected by Edmonton. They get it out. Sam Carrick beat out by Zadorov on this dumping. Zadorov slammed towards the near corner. And he's down. Pinned down by Carrick, who's still trying to get up. Zadorov can't get up. He's still on his knees. Now he gets up. Now it's Carrick being the one who's down on this the Vancouver zone. Now Carrick pokes it free. Kovac brings it back into no man's land. 1:10 to go. Drive free by David. Helped out by Conor Brown. Bouncing pass. Goes over to Vancouver. Lindholm deflected this one through. Last minute of the second period. It's been all Edmonton. Because it is throughout the entire game. 53 seconds to go. Oilers have it. And they get it out. 50 seconds from the penalty mark. It is Quinn Hughes. Right by for Brown. Slowed down. He'll pick it up. He just stepped with it. And gets this one down. No icing. Not even close to one. Desharnais from behind his net. Up and around this one, not deflected in. But Sheeloff will lead this one behind. 30 seconds. Arona played the traffic, and Arona spins out and fakes out Warren Vogel. For the far side, Canucks advance this one in. And for the center ice, Pettersson gets bumped. Hughes can't get this one through. Oilers get this out. Now see puck. Down to the Vancouver zone. It's loose for Connor McDavid, who gets hauled down. And a loose stick on the ice. Goes back to the Edmonton zone. Will be recollected by Darnell Nurse to run out the clock. What domination has been for the Oilers. They lead in shots on goal 27-12, and it's paid off. 3-0 they lead in Game 7.
Well, good job by you on play-by-play, Alec, because you had this action for about 7 minutes straight. Again, as we said, it was all Edmonton after 1. They didn't score. All Edmonton after 2. It's Lobs made the save, one of the best saves I've ever seen. Maybe the second best one of the playoffs, and yet it's 3-0. 2 of those goals from defensemen, 1 of those on the power play as well. I mean, look, you and I said it as plain as day. We thought this would be a 6-game series. Game 6 kind of went one. 7's going one way. Oilers look like they're going to take this one. I feel comfortable saying it. Now you got 20 minutes. At this point, Vancouver, I know you're top of the Pacific. Playing with house money, Alec. You got nothing to lose here. You've been getting dominated. You got to go out there with your best effort in the final 20 minutes and know that your season, if you don't get at least 3. So that's just the way I see it. It's a shame it kind of went the way of the Devils and Rangers last year, but I feel like I'm watching the same game, minus maybe 3 extra goals.
I mean, for more goals for out, and it's by the road team this time around as opposed to the home team.
Yeah.
Domination by 1. Game 7. Devils and Rangers. This is one of these games that's basically surprising us. We thought Vancouver may even this one out. The Oilers, they're unfazed by the crowd noise. You remember that one PK Subban quote? It looks like the Oilers are paying a homage to PK Subban's quote ahead of the Canadiens game 7 against the Bruins.
I want to say this too, and again, I've been trying to be realistic, and I did a little bit during the first. I don't know if it's just the Canucks and their style of play, because it's been that way in the regular season. I know Rick Tocchet's talked about it when they had Thatcher Demko, that sometimes they'll play this way. The Vancouver Canucks, this time they don't have a lead. This time they're down 3-0. But when they get a lead, they have a tendency to play in a shell. Thatcher Demko, Casey DeSmith at the time would bail them out, and they'll win some games despite being outshot by a ton. And right now in this game, Alec, you can tell me if I'm completely crazy, but I don't really see the Edmonton Oilers doing anything that's shocking or anything I feel like the Canucks can't handle. But for whatever reason, in Game 6 and Game 7, they've either ran out of energy or maybe the Oilers just figured out the Canucks, and it looks like they have no answer right now. But what say you?
I like the points you made. It feels like the Canucks, they used up all their energy. They tried to all these comeback victories, and comeback victories all throughout. It's just not doable every time. You're down by a significant deficit. You came back from down 3 against the Oilers once. Well, you drilled by 3 in one game. All right, you make one comeback. Okay, that's good. You drill by 3 again in this series. Well, Edmonton's learned their lesson from Game 1 and held the lead.
Right.
That time around in Game 6. I would feel that the Oilers would once again use those lessons from Game 1 that they've learned. And because they've learned those lessons, they will hold this lead. They've got the stifling defense their way. We talked about good Vancouver's turn around their defense under Adam Foote. Let's give some credit to Paul Coffey, who's the defensive whisperer for the Oilers.
Yeah, he deserves a lot of credit for unlocking all that, because honestly, 2 years ago, when he played against the Avalanche and that happened, I didn't see much defense from the Oilers. I mean, you could try as much as you want to, but this group, in comparison to 2 years ago on defense, at least show me that they can do it. And if they're willing, if they bend a little bit, I don't feel like it's going to break completely. And I hate to punch this button. I'm not going to mention Dallas again, but I do want to go into the situation of Thursday when that series starts. Okay, Skinner's had a couple games that essentially he's come increase. He's looked fine. He had a better second period. I give him that. He's made the saves that he's needed to make. And sometimes that's all you need to do, Alec, especially in a game like this when you already have a 3-goal lead. But I still go into Thursday thinking, what do I really know about Stuart Skinner? And how comfortable am I with the goaltending tandem that Edmonton has? I don't feel like their goaltending tandem in this entire series, whether it be Skinner or Pickard, has answered any questions for me. And that kind of stinks for them because it's been a long 7-game series, and I still don't know what I'm going to get behind the crease.
I mean, it's basically flip a coin between them. You just don't know what you're going to get. It's like chocolates. It's like a bunch of chocolates. You don't know what you're going to get itself.
Yeah, and that's I think that's the dangerous part for me for Edmonton. I know that they can score goals. I know Dallas is going to know that you don't want to take penalties. And I feel better about their defensive front. So, again, we've had some secondary goal scoring. Defensive front, again, we talked about CC, Bouchard. Hell, even Darnell Nurse, he has not played that bad in this series. I know he gets a lot of heat because of the money he makes and all that. The Oilers seem like a better defensive team than they are 2 years ago. But to me, it's still the same team. The goaltending tandem from like Koskinen and Skinner last year, now to Pickard and Skinner and whatever, could be worse. So we'll see. I mean, I think Edmonton's going to get there at this point. But the same questions that we've been asking ourselves, I still feel like we have to ask ourselves those same questions. I'll be really interested to know once we get later into the week if Edmonton can find a way to take a couple games or at least get one after two and really kind of push on the offensive end, maybe Skinner has a strong game, one of the ones later in the week, then maybe here for Edmonton. But I feel like Vancouver, even game series, whether it's running out of energy, as we said, I thought Shelov's did everything that he could in this series. But I don't know. I don't know if I should feel disappointed for Vancouver, or maybe we expected Edmonton to win, but I just didn't expect it to end like this for the Canucks.
Yeah, it just feels like you fall flat in these last two games. I'm not going to shame Vancouver to expect them to win the Pacific Division with the way the roster is constructed. You bring back much of the same guys you had at the tail end of the last season, and you add some more for the course of the season. You bring in Zadorov, you bring in Lindholm, in addition to bringing in Susie and Cole in the offseason plus Bluger. You bring in the Smith at the backup goaltender. It's either way, however you look at it for the Canucks, this season's been a success for them. Build on this season. If you don't come back from this game 7 and win, you can build on this season. Add some more in the offseason. Get some more missing pieces around. Shore the depth.
Yeah, my first look for Vancouver, should it be that way, and again, we'll talk about it in the postgame a little bit, but I would say, I know Brock Besser's a whole, but even if he wasn't in this game, or let's say he was playing, I don't think the way the Canucks are playing right now that the scoreline looks any different. Would you agree?
It wouldn't be that much different if it were with a scoreline. I mean, with the Oilers playing the way they are, and with the Canucks playing the way they are, you would if Demko was into that, I think the same thing happens. That the way Shelov's is getting left out to dry in this game, Demko would also get left out to dry. And as for the free agent situation, Vancouver, they have $27 million in cap space when you include Kenny Bluger, Dakota Joshua, Sam Lafferty, Friedman, Tyler Myers, Nikita Zadorov, Ian Cole. The big one is Elias Lindholm. Plus, Philip Hronek is an RFA. Shelov's is an RFA. Casey Smith is a UFA. You'd be wondering who is going to be brought back and who goes. I think Shelov's gets brought back. Lindholm you have to bring back at any cost.
Shelov's I'm bringing back. I agree with you. And again, I'm going to get back to the previous point, and then we're going to jump into cap friendly because I just looked at that too, and I want to have a discussion with you as they were just interviewing Bouchard. But yeah, I agree. I don't think the score would have changed that much if Boeser was in there, if Demko was in there. But I immediately looked at the lineups today, and I asked you bottom six, and I think that's where I need to go ahead and look at and what they could address, and that $25 million thereabouts in cap space should be able to do that at least a little bit. Obviously, Elias Pettersson battling an injury, he's going to deal with some of that. That can make things difficult. But here's a crazy one here for you, because the first half of the season, when you think about Philip Hronek, that was a slam dunk whether you're going to bring him back now. I mean, he was silent in the second half. He didn't really do much. And now in the postseason, he's not really doing much. And I'm not saying you don't bring him back in a second or third line, but they were saying Philip Hronek wants,
No. If you started around in the middle, say at least around $5 million, you would start at that. Lindholm, he's possibly going to get a pay raise. Say $7.5 million would do.
Fair.
So if we're looking at everyone else, Joshua's going to get a pay raise. Myers, he's going to get his salary cut down for what he's worth, even though he was on that bad contract previously. I'm not blaming him for signing that contract because that was a Jim Benny contract.
Sure.
If he works in Vancouver again, it's going to be at a cheaper value. Zadorov, pretty much the same value that he had in his previous contract.
Yeah, you're worth what they're worth, and whatever they pay you. If we were in the same spot, Alec, we'd sign the contract too. So you never blame the players for signing the contract. That's what you got offered. And again, we're just giving you the looks at what we think we're going to see. Honestly, deal. Only 9% of the cap at 7.85. That's an absolute steal. I think the only thing I want to see more for Quinn Hughes, and I know it's tough to ask because he's a superstar defenseman, but maybe put a little bit more of the offense on your plate next year. Again, he's only 24, going to be 25 heading into it next year. I think he's definitely capable of doing that. And hell, I'm sure that Rick Tocchet's going to ask him to do so. And on the other end, yeah, I mean, I see some contracts here that honestly don't seem to be all that bad. It feels like the Canucks are in a pretty good situation right now, to be honest.
Yes, they're in a good spot with Jim Rutherford and Patrick Alvey manning the front office. So they have the future ready. Plus, we have a decent prospect pool with Vasily Podkolzin in the mix, even though he's graduated from prospect status. You also have Jonathan Lekari-Maki at the helm at the prospect pool. Atu Ratu as well.
Mm-hmm.
Linus Carlson and everyone else. Lumovich at the forward core.
Yeah, so maybe, again, because you brought up great points, maybe I should think that the Canucks are a little bit ahead of schedule. And honestly, that should have been my first take anyway, because when we talked about it, we didn't expect Vancouver to be at this spot. Hell, I mean, they were in a spot where Rick Tocchet takes over. And, we're looking on the side for sure a little bit upset the way that the coaching situation went, but you realize this team had a lot of talent. They needed some time. And Rick Tocchet, he should be involved with the Jets, kind of turning it around as we've talked about. So maybe Vancouver's going to be fine. It looks like the contract situation is. It's just a little bit tough to follow in the moment considering the way games have gone so far.
Shake up the pain of these losses and carry it on to the offseason. Don't let this get over your head too much. Vancouver's going to be back.
Yeah, and again, I look at some of this situation. This might look better from the story from a few days ago when he talked about the Avalanche and the Mad winner, because I was looking at teams like Chris McFarland's got about 15 free agents. That entire bottom six is a free agent essentially, and they got some defensemen as well. Yes, you have the core group of Ranton and McKinnon and Makar, but there are a lot of situations, a lot of things to figure out. And
plus, the status of Gabriel Landeskog, is he going to come back?
Do you really think so? I didn't think he was going to be gone for 2 years.
Me neither. You didn't think that the last time we would see him on the ice was the Stanley Cup final when he hoisted that Babel Cup first and then passed it off to Eric Johnson first. There's something that blows our minds. In the last 8 periods of Game 7 action, the Canucks have not scored a single goal.
Now, you're the hockey historian, although I know some stuff, but I credit to you. I'm looking back on it. Was that one of the Ryan Kessler teams or something that didn't score? Because it seems like a long time ago.
So let's look back at the 2 games prior. So 8 periods. You have these 2 periods for this game. The previous game was 2020 in the bubble against Vegas with Patrick Demko's Herculean effort. It took a Shea Theodore shot to beat Demko in Game 7. The other 2 goals were empty netters. Then you have the Stanley Cup final game in which the riots were taking place in 2011. The last time scored in Game 7, Alex Burrows slayed the Dragon.
Okay, thank you for that, because I keep forgetting about 2020 for some reason. The years here, but now they're back at the precipice where they haven't been to in a while. It's been about 4 years for that side. So, wow, they still cap friendly. They got a Oliver Ekman-Larsson buyout that doesn't end until 2030.
That's it. Joey, I cannot blame that on Vancouver one bit. I feel that's more at the fault of John Jacob for that awful contract that he gave Ekman-Larsson. But as the Parise sooner buyouts, like what Minnesota's dealing with, but it stayed still. You combine this with the Tucker Pullman LTIR, you still have at about nearly $5 million used up its cap.
Yeah, I guess not too bad, as you said, because it will shoot up over the next few years, and then we'll figure out what's going to happen in Utah and where we're going with that. We got some trades. Honestly, Alec, I know we got till June of the Stanley Cup final. We have a lot more games to broadcast together. I know Cooper will probably join in on some of the finals. But I think this potential for free agency frenzy, I think it might get a little wild, honestly. I'm just going to say it.
I mean, you got Stamkos, the big fish of the free agent class, and you have all the chaos that follows afterwards. I mean, every reason. You got Stamkos, and you got Sam Ryder, who had his best season of his career on a contract year. Who knows if he's pricing himself out of Florida's plans in the future? He's going to get a big pay raise.
Yes, he is. And I do want to throw a little credit his way, although anyway, because everybody knows how good he is. But I was glad to see that, once Patrice Bergeron had exited and he was Mr. Selke anyway, Sasha Barkov got his second. Talk about how good his game is. Sasha Barkov is one of those guys I enjoy watching, Alec, because not only does he play the 200-foot game, offense, defense, to everything, it seems like anytime there's a playoff game, he's always on the score sheet and he's always doing something positive. You always know where Alexander Barkov is on the ice.
That complete 200-foot game, it feels inadvertently that first-round series between the Bruins and Panthers, in terms of the Selke, it might have been an inadvertent pass of the torch from Bergeron to Barkov, who gets more of the Selke trophies down for the line. We speak of guys like Ryan O'Reilly and Sean Couturier, a complete 100-foot game. Barkov is the best among the forwards who can play a complete 100-foot game as of right now.
Yeah, he is. And honestly, when you talk about that, sometimes you say, okay, complete player offense to defense. I think Sasha Barkov is one of those guys that can be an so he's killing penalties and he's also on the power play as well. He's everywhere.
He's everywhere, all over the ice. And we'll be interested to know who goes where among the free agency. I know for a fact that Carolina gets a long-term extension, so don't expect him to go anywhere.
As they should. I think he fit for a glove right for Carolina. They want goal scoring. Provided it. He provided it all over the playoffs. I thought he had a fantastic postseason.
Yeah, he has. And a solid return for Pittsburgh on the other way with Mike that they got.
That was really good for them. You take this first 10, I'll close it. You've gotten all the goals here. You get the exciting parts, I'll take the boring parts. That's the way it's going right now. I'm good with it, Alec. Just have some fun.
I mean, some of the parts that you got in there were full of excitement as well. We got some Elias and Evander Kane. Don't bash yourself over it.
No, I like having fun, Alec. It's so much fun to call these games with you. I appreciate that we can go back and forth into Game 7 and both enjoy the sport that we love. You take it away.
Hey, here we are, third period. Alec Nava, John Ott, and the Oilers winning 3-0. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Game 6 and 7. Can you believe this? He has 5-2 games. He's been showing up nicely. Conor McDavid, we haven't had a chance to say his name much throughout this game. He doesn't have a point here in this Game 7, but with the way the Oilers have played, he doesn't really need to have a point in this Game 7. He did have 3 assists in Game 6 after being held to just 1 point. He can get rolling. He absolutely crushed the LA Kings in the first round of a dominance showing as McLeod gets stripped loose. Here we are in the opening first minute. Vancouver to the far side as they skip this one in from Ian Cole. Knocked loose by Nurse. They are nailed to the wall. And stolen for Vancouver just before Edmonton got it out. For race board, the icing is going to be waved out. Sheeloss will grab it up as Quinn Hughes and Derek Ryan right in front of it. Stops from 18:42.
And I like the point that you made there about McDavid. Again, the one thing Vancouver's done is they've closed down McDavid. They've had games and stretches where he hadn't had a point or just 1 point in 3 games combined. When you play in the next series, you feel like that's going to have to bounce up a little bit, but that also speaks to something good about Edmonton. Again, we talked about it with RNH. We haven't been years because usually if 97 doesn't score, they're going home.
Yeah, that's usually the case. And now we have a point in which both Draisaitl and McDavid are not on the score sheet, but Draisaitl does have a secondary assist on the Nugent-Hopkins goal on the power play. That kind of counts. The 2 even strength goals, neither McDavid nor Draisaitl have a point on them. It's CC on the first one. They have just changed to Zach Hyman on the second goal. He indeed deflected the Bouchard shot. Initially thought it was Bouchard as he had the initial shot. Vancouver ties up Edmonton, reaches Gitter, who sticks it away. Near corner, McCann spun around over to the far side. Boeser was struck down by Kulak for some time. Brown stick this one behind over to Kulak. Kulak had it poked loose. Zadorov sent this behind the net intentionally. Puck poked free. It's Blueger on the hole. Tight shot. Skinner. Here's Schroeder who loads up. This is the bounce out with someone. Oilers have it now. Here's Holloway. Holloway can't get anything. And now first there's Zadorov. We'll go over to the far corner. He and Kane are going at it. This could get dicey. We don't know if there's going to be a fight that's going to spark here, just like what happened yesterday at the NASCAR All-Star race between Kyle Busch and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Far side, this goes for Elias Pettersson. Pettersson had it poked away by can't find JT Miller as that one was poked free by Brown. Connor Brown on the race for this puck. Ian Cole got shoved as the Oilers on the takeaways. Carrot on the backhand around. Riding the near corners with his Janmark. Janmark watched by Hughes and defeated Brown. Brown goes back on the tight shot. I thought this was a feed for Janmark. He decided to fire at Sheila, testing him from a sharp angle.
And I'm wondering, too, because the Vancouver personnel, they got some pretty strong pieces of what they might change going into next year. Again, talked about the amount of space and what's there, fixing the bottom six. I think they could use a couple extra forwards here to brush in that bottom six. Kind of just too stagnant for me in this series so far. At times, it feels like they can go periods where they only get 2 or 3 shots on goal.
I mean, they go to Joshua and Sam Lavity to take care of on the bottom six. You bring back Lindholm, you're in good hands. Garland on the keeper round. Doesn't go anywhere. As this goes over to the near corner, Susie on the hole. McDavid can't get it. His teammate can't. That was Ekholm. Nugent-Hopkins bumped. McDavid has it. He's also bumped, but got it away. Up front is Hyman. Fighting McDavid. McDavid got it net. Sheila poked it away from him. Just before McDavid can get a shot away. And the Canucks clear it out. And Cole will be the first back to this puck as both teams make changes. That was a good job by Sheila to deny McDavid of a shot. Sheila is basically doing everything for the Canucks. There's a whole bunch of nothing for Vancouver. They had just 12 shots, not in this first period this far. Back pass from McLeod around the center boards. Around the center to the near side, Sheila to lead for Aronin. Near corner, Hughes. Ryan put the pressure on it and take the puck away from him. Hughes gets it right back and leads the rush back the other way. 4:10 gone in this first period. Miller to the inside. Nothing there for the Canucks. And on this collect is Holloway. Here's the 2-on-1. Holloway, curling back. Vogel. No room to shoot. Vogel get it back, but it's back and he controls in the far corner. Aronin right on his face. Holloway recollects. And that's what goes for Hughes behind. That's left it away on the approaching Draisaitl. And tied up is Elias Pettersson who will find Hughes. Chased from behind by Draisaitl. And this will be sent off the boards. Oilers on the keep. Vancouver gets it out. And they'll collect. Giuseppe. Near boards. Send it over to the far side. Here's Holtwender. Shoved towards the wall by Desharnais. Out inside by Suter. To go to the right point for Cole. And Cole gets one around. Spin around by Holtwender right back. Holtwender over double move. Right by Draisaitl. No passing lanes there. Edmonton gets this down. No icing for Nikita. Zadorov leads to the left side. Too far for Cole. And the rush for is Holtwender in the near corner. Holtwender controls. Carrot poked it free. Suter gets it right back. Here's Cole at the blood point. Inside. Nothing there for Lafferty. And now it's Carrot on the far side. Sheila says it's Kris. Cole tried to play this one. Brown was there. Zadorov also there. It's Zadorov with this puck. Left side this goes. Leading away from McCann. McCann forced over to the inside. And tried to try it free. Does so, but a stick. And they get it out. This might have played out play. And could this be a power play for Vancouver? They're trying to save the win game against Connor Brown.
I think they might have a case here, Alec. Connor Brown looks and Vancouver's had their first power play possibly since the Elias Pettersson high stick.
Yeah, that was out of play. Nobody deflected it out on Brown's side, so Vancouver's back to the power play. They took well on the road, but but they need to match it at full. Just 5 full.
And again, as you said, I'm looking at the previous series in which there was even strength play. It looked like there was a lot of standing around for Vancouver. You had 3 players in the net waiting to try to screen, and Hronik's by himself trying to dance around the inboards. He can't get a shot off against 4 defenders. The guy's got to move.
Checking the clock in the meantime with the officials by the penalty box just says Rogers Arena is playing some low Uzi Vert.
Play something to fire up the crowd. They've been stuck sitting on their hands.
I mean, some Jersey club can work. Something to get this. There's just nothing for the Canucks to get into this game. Now on this penalty kill is the Oilers drawing the first blood as they clear it out as the stifling PK continues for Edmonton. Pettersson leads the way to the right side. Spin around for Garland. Chased off his man. The Oilers clear it down again. The Canucks, Hughes leads the way. Tap pass for Pettersson. Fires to the near boards. And this gets banged around. Back to the place Hughes. For Lindholm. Tap pass for Hughes again. Hughes. Right side for Miller. Miller centers one for Garland. It's not there. And cleared out by Ekholm. Good save by Skinner. First save by Stuart Skinner when tested by the Canucks power play. As the saying is to Sal, the Canucks get a shot on goal on the man advantage on their third power play. They did not have one in the first 2. They won't have another one here as the Oilers clear it down. Unit change through both sides. Here's just going to stay out there. Anything for this Canucks power play. Anything to like to let because there's a whole bunch of nothing. Pettersson around. And the bar boards. That pass around. That pass missed. But it's held aside by Pettersson. Around back. Pettersson for Lindholm. He recoils behind them. Off for Pettersson who's at the outside. Draisaitl pass deflected by Edmonton and cleared out. Vancouver restart. Hughes re-enters and an offside. They say with 31 on the man advantage.
They had one chance out in front there with Pettersson after the missed pass, but that was. Again, you see Vancouver trying to skate. Edmonton's got the neutral zone trap going because they're up by 3, and then you try to rush on the right side on a 1-on-4. You're never going to get in front of the net that way to get the puck in front to even run your offense. So Edmonton's got it locked down, but if I'm Vancouver, get shots to the net. You got to press, and I see Lindholm frustrated as he goes to the bench, understandably so.
He has every right to be frustrated. He wants to win this, but that's not enough being done. In Vancouver is supposed to get 21.6 shots on goal per game. That's the fewest since 1960. That's not something you want to see from a playoff team. Power play is postseason at home is 1 for 20 on 15. And this power play for the Canucks at their own ice is basically the Maple Leafs power play or the Hurricanes power play against New York Rangers. We may have another penalty on the way here.
Offsides I got from Butchergrass here, Alex, so we'll see. I think we're just going to get a neutral zone draw.
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you for correcting my mistake. It is offside against Vancouver, so I thought it was a penalty at first, but it is an offside. No penalty on the way. After this faceoff is Suter for Pettersson, and I think Guidas held it. Good keep in. Here's Hughes. Winds up. Tip it for Suter. Skinner shut it down. 2 seconds on the man advantage. That could effectively run it out. That's just the 14th shot on goal for the Canucks in this game.
That was his best save of the game, Alec. I'm going to say it right now. With 12:16 left in the third, traffic out in front of Pius Suter. Again, he did ask me who's going to get the first goal of the game. I threw out there for Suter. Something, anything, a Quinn Hughes bomb, double deflection, and Suter's right there on the doorstep with traffic in front from Pettersson. That was Vancouver.
Yeah, this power play overall, that's their best look. That's the entire series at home. It's just led you nothing. Just 2 shots on the power play, both of them coming on the third power play. This is sent in, deflect out with Suter and around it. Continues to do so, and back this goes for Warnick. Hughes, cycling this one around. Miller, back for Hughes. Lows up. Lord for Hughes as he recoils in back in his own zone. Away from Hyman. 11:40 to go here in the third period as Hand this one over to John once we hit the midway mark. Here, Vancouver trying to send us through. Edmonton denies them entry, but this goes back to Vancouver. Inside, this goes through center ice. Logan out of the shot on goal, and this is McLeod. McLeod for the far side. Moves his up with to the right. Here's Holloway. A low stop. That took a block. Second try. Elias kicked this one out. And Kane pins Sushi towards the wall. Pokes at it. And behind the net, Myers flipped this one away. Holloway trying to keep. It's still at the far boards. And out. 1 minute until I hand this back to John. And entry feed over to Holloway. Holloway will drop Kane. Kane's shot took a bounce off friendly fire from Holloway. Holloway in the far corner. Continuing to look. And we'll look to send this through over to Desharnais. Desharnais. This is sent wide. That was Nurse on that last shot. Vancouver at center ice. It's Joshua on the send-in. This one bounced by 10:33 to go in the third period. And John, this might be a good time to hand this back over to you as ESPN is going.
So we'll go right in the stoppage here. Again, we're cutting it halfway this way because Alec closed the last one with the Matt Duchene heroics. This game didn't turn out to be like that, but Vancouver time as we go to break. But there's got to be something for me, Alec. I'm going to look at it in sands of the hourglass. You got 10:33 left. I think Vancouver needs to get one in the next 4 minutes. You got to find something.
Yeah, sign of life. Anything to test Stuart Skinner. Just fire it on the goal. It doesn't matter who. Because the more shots that you fire at and pepper the goaltender, the more that you find these loose pucks over the slot to bank this in and potentially draw even.
Yeah, you can't really try to write the rule book over again if you're Rick Tocchet. You got to keep it simple. We said that a little bit in the second. There were 5 or 6 minutes. Second, in which I did like the Canucks play. It took them getting scored on twice to kind of figure it out, and then once they tried to get going, they got scored on again, and then it was pretty much 3-0 at that point. And the sad part for the third power play, yeah, you had a Pettersson screen out in front for Pew Suter, but on the Vancouver power play might have been the Edmonton Oilers' best goal scoring chance with the Connor Brown shorthanded.
That might have been breakaway opportunity. It's always an NHL player's dream to score on the shorthanded break. It would be nice if that came to materialize. Just was not meant to be, but Brown's teammates did help him out. Cody C, Hyman, Nugent-Hopkins. So active defensive, multiple career Game 7 goals. CC has joined that list with Tyler Myers and Brandon Montour.
Good for Cody Ceci, honestly, because I know he gets some flack from NHLers and this and that. Couple Game 7 goals. It's a thrill to be in this situation, isn't it, Alec? And when you come up on that, that's what you get remembered for forever.
You'll remember this for a long time if you're Cody Ceci. Not only getting a Game 7 goal against the Kings, but also against your cross-provincial rival in the Canucks.
This is big. You can essentially go to the Final Four here and eliminate cross-rival, as Alex said. So this means everything. This is Battle of Canada, and Edmonton has really taken their front foot on the driver's seat in Game 6 and Game 7, and they put the foot on the gas, and they've dominated Vancouver. And we can talk about whether or not Vancouver ran out of energy, didn't have the pushback. I get it. It's happened. It's loose out in front a couple times for Lindholm as he tries to pick it up, but sometimes that's the narrative. Edmonton's been the better team, and they deserve to be where they are right now. As this goes on the left side boards, try to get picked up by Elias Lindholm one more time. He's got Conor Garland out there with him. He's a hard-working player. Ian Cole slowly around the end boards. Here's a pass. It's loose on times and then sent back down the ice. Shots on goal are going to start to be a little bit of a lie. And what I mean by that was Vancouver had a stretch in the second period in which they got and that cuts into their 14. That's in totality. It's 29-14. So decided as this goes to the right side. Picked up by Myers. His wrister goes wide. And on the left side, red wine. Spun around. Try to get picked up there for Garland. Set up for Myers. It's blocked again. Edmonton has something. Forcing them on the outside, as Alec has mentioned. And essentially, when you got a 3-goal lead, you're able to play that way. We talked about from game one how that didn't materialize for Edmonton, learning some lessons. Well, it certainly seems like they're on the forefront of defense here. And Teddy Bluger off the rush will take a shot, and it's stopped by Skinner.
Might not, but I feel he nailed it there when he's on the line. So much on the line for the Oilers. And but for McDavid, his team is doing it without him. He has no points, but with the way Edmonton's playing, they're doing a complete effort all around him.
Yeah,
helping him out on all facets.
Yeah, they are, Alec. And honestly, from what we talked about, that's what we needed to see from Ken Holland's team. That's what we've wanted over the last couple of years. You're getting it now. And I think if you're Connor McDavid, and he might be doing this in this series, it is credit to Rick Tocchet and the coaching staff for the score sheet. But I think, going into Thursday, Connor McDavid, number 97, is going to have to be Super Saiyan mode, really. Really isn't any other way for me to say it. He's going to have to activate and kind of dominate.
Yeah, he is dominant. We speak of the potential Stars Oilers series down the line. There are some memories to it. I know the Stars have dominated that one-sided rivalry in the late 90s and early 2000s is primarily first-round matches, the post-Gretzky Oilers, as we call it. But 1997 is a year which the Oilers will remember for the fact that they upset the heavily favored Stars back when they had Mike Modano. You remember Curtis Joseph with a game of a lifetime in that game. Away goal to end the Stars season in that game 7.
Those are some names, and it's been a while for me because I forget that Cujo, remember he was a Maple, that he was an Oiler as well. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen these two meet in the playoffs. The Dallas back in the Western Conference Final. We think that Dallas could get their way to the Stanley Cup Final and make it there. Given the roster that's been constructed. I think Peter DeBoer, I have my questions about him, but so far, he's impressed me this playoff run.
I know we talked about that, Alec. I'm starting to think that some of my concerns are melting away for Peter DeBoer because that team just looks really good.
Yeah, this looks really good all around. Offensively, defensively locked in. Even Jake Ottinger is locked in. Even he doesn't have to face a barrage of shots from the opposition as it was against the Flames and the Wild in those 2 games in between playoff appearances. He's been really good in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think Jake Ottinger, to me, is the second best goalie left in the tournament, if not for Igor Shesterkin. Honestly, Jake Ottinger could be number 1. That's how good he is. Definitely, out of 32 teams, probably a top 4, top 5 goalie. Here's a turnover right out front, and Garland! He shows Vancouver some life!
And U2 plays throughout Rogers Arena, some life at the tank. So you get the first legit chance on Stuart Skinner. That's the best look that you're going to get since the McKayev takeaway. So stick lift, and you fire short side on Skinner's Pettersson who tied up Ryan McLeod, which allows Garland to pick up this loose puck. You just fire this one immediately. You get the quick takeaway, get right in, fire immediately. The rest of the way, just fire right on Stuart Skinner. See how much you can test it to get right back in this game.
Yeah, you have to, Alec. And again, up on McLeod, that one hurts, but at least the team's still up by 2. Because if that was a little bit of a less of a deficit there, man, oh man, that one really would have stung. So 4th season for Conor Garland. And that one was good. I don't know if it was as good as the between the legs fakie there from game 1, but Conor Garland puts Vancouver on the board.
And their first goal in a game 7 in 9 periods for the Canucks. So there's a game 7 drought that has been. Their first game 7 goal since, guess who? Alex Burrows.
Those are names. Again, you got the paper mache orca there with the Stanley Cup. You're going to need a couple more of those for us to get to another period. It's an opportunity now. JT Miller, he's got to win this draw. And this is tied up back. Conor Garland, our wrap around. And maybe we will start to see Vancouver fight for their life. You got to be careful on the other side not to give up anything. But honestly, Vancouver's got no other choice at this point. Veronic, now Pettersson. We'll put this way high off the glass. It'll bounce right in front of the logo. As this will be 7:50 left to go in the third. John Hunter with you. I'm going to close it alongside Alec Nava once we go back to OT. The shots on goal are 4-2 in this period. So Edmonton is playing this like they did in game one. A little bit of a sit back as Hronek now will send this around for Hughes. Hughes feels like he's out there in every shift as this is picked up now for Pius Suter. Suter, cross pass, wide open as Nils Höglander. Backing around for Pius. This will go to Carson Soucy, former member of the Kraken. Too far for Höglander. In turn, he gets dispossessed by number 97. RNH will take a long flip. Zach Hyman, he won't play this one-on-one. As we'll go to the left side blue line. 7:05 left to go in the third. Tyler Myers, Höglander stopped at the line. Now everybody else has to go back. The defensemen are taking a change. Held lead in 3 losses, the Edmonton Oilers in this series. I don't know if they're speaking that into existence, but it is fact. As this is sent down for Vincent Desharnais, double tip. Can't get a stick on it. It was Dakota Joshua. That could have been dangerous. As it's Hughes. Now he loses it. Hyman. Good working behind the net just to keep the puck for a little bit longer. Quinn Hughes. We'll see if Vancouver can press now. Conor Garland putting on the dancing shoes. It's dispossessed. It's Joshua. Back to Hughes. Hughes, stutter step. Just kept in by Nikita Zadorov. He's got it in the high slot. Backhanded pass. It was not a bad idea. But the Oilers now will get this. Vancouver's just going to start to run out of time here. As Conor Garland slowly chip this to himself. He's going to be exhausted. Warren Foegele puts it around the end boards and now left to right. Edmonton on the road. They're trying to win this game 7 to play Tuesday. They're in the road whites, the blue pants, orange striping. We're in the Orca blue. Pettersson, wide open. Höglander can't finish. My, oh my. As this goes down to the left side, it should be a 1-goal game. Carson Soucy settle this one back down off the glove hand. Vancouver's got a couple chances here as this goes now. Glove down, Tyler Myers, back pass between his legs. He'll get it back. He's got a lane, fakes the bomb, now takes the wrister and shoots high. As this goes up the left side board, jump for Miller. He can't find it. Now we'll get a whistle.
And that was Phil DiGiuseppe, not Nils Höglander. Shot it over the net. I don't think Stuart Skinner was tested, but if he was, I don't know if DiGiuseppe could have scored there, but that was perhaps the best look to bring you a 5-1 for Vancouver. Followed up with a Tyler Myers, but a good stick by Zach Hyman to prevent that from getting all the way to the net. Vancouver has some life here. It needs some more of it before they can start playing some Green Day.
I know we can't answer this question specifically, but I got to throw it out there. Where was this earlier?
We wonder, where in the world was this from Vancouver earlier in the game?
Because I play a little bit in that game one. You had a 3-goal lead. You can't hold it. You got a 3-goal lead now. It's down to 2. And I understand you can stay back a little bit and try to help around Stuart Skinner. I think it's the right call to do. But all of a sudden, when that happens, Vancouver seems to activate. The only time that they play this pace is when the Oilers have a multi-goal lead. They have 5:23 and left to try to get another one before the goalie pool. That wouldn't be 3 minutes from now. There is life. Stuart Skinner, again, he's been decent. 15. Again, I can't say too much or too less about it. There's just not enough activity. The numbers look fine. Arthur Shelov's 26 out of 29. Honestly, Alec, from the way that this was, if it wasn't for Shelov's early, this could probably be 5-1.
Yeah, if it wasn't for his goaltending style, an absolute blowout here in Vancouver. Fans would be going home disappointed, but not really much to hang their heads about as we see Mr. Lightning McQueen, also known as Owen Wilson in Vancouver.
Owen Wilson, huh? So he's a Vancouver Canucks fan. He wants to be able to see it. He's trying not to join the early traffic. He wants to be able to wave those towels and see whether or not they can get a couple more goals. This Pettersson's still caught up there pretty good. Faceoffs 27-25 now, as this goes back to Edmonton. 5:15 left to go in the third. Vancouver needs a couple more of these to extend this Game 7 as it sits 3-1. A good balanced attack from Edmonton in this game, and not named McDavid and Draisaitl, as this is sent back around from Miller. Touch pass, Conor Garland. They'll leave it for Myers. Myers near the right wall. Myers will make a sauce feed, working behind the cage now. Miller's got no one else to free the puck to. And now Edmonton will just inadvertently ice this thing for whatever reason.
You don't want to give Vancouver that. You don't want to ice the puck so that gets more life to Vancouver and bring it to within one.
Yeah, I would have been with Evan Bouchard's play if it was 42 seconds left on the third, not 4:42.
Don't.
So Hoglander now, as this goes back and around the end boards, picked up for Vancouver. Slapper, hurrah! Scores! It's a one-goal game.
Don't go yet. This is not over just yet. As Philip already unloads a blast from the center blue line, and Owen Wilson has to be smiling at that one. The Oilers a little unsettled. It's far from over. The face-off win is you don't want to give the Canucks an icing, especially at this point in the game. Throwing that out, and it was at that time in which Vancouver drops into a bin one that will screen this Matthias Ekholm just screened his own goaltender for whatever reason. He didn't even see this puck, but that was a quick one, and Veronic has one. Kris Knoblauch is going to use his timeout. I don't blame Knoblauch for using a timeout because the momentum is slipping from Edmonton rather quickly. You do not want a repeat of game one here.
All right. Apology to everyone listening in on the broadcast side when I pretty much did a post-mortem for the Vancouver Canucks in the second intermission, and we're talking about a bunch of other things, but I did not expect this to happen to Edmonton again. What are you doing?
What in the world? If they blow a second free goalie in this series, we got to start asking the Oilers some serious questions about what's to come. McDavid doesn't have a point in this game, and it looked like for the most part that he didn't need to, but now he needs to have a point in this game. Seal this one up. Take over.
You make me feel a little bit better about that. I appreciate you having my corner on that end because it felt like this game was over until it wasn't. Filip Hronek, his first career playoff goal, his second point of the season. Again, we had him in the first period. Alec did for Filip Hronek to get on the score sheet. That's a good time to get. Well, there's still 4:25 left.
For the former Red Wing, it does feel good to have your first career playoff goal.
I don't even know what to say. Again, I'm trying to. Edmonton has to press now. You cannot play in a shell. You already saw what happened in Game 1. And again, this was the second time from Game 1 and Game 7 where I said it was the right decision. But I also don't expect to get an icing at about 4:43. Here we go. Vancouver with the puck. Now on the right side boards. As this is behind the cage with Skinner. It's Nikita Zadorov. Into the traffic, he's going to get it back. Cross pass. That bounced off of something. This goes out of play, 3:55.
And everyone here in Vancouver is chanting, "Go Canucks, go!" This quick pass across Draisaitl deflected this one out, and now Zadorov back on the bench. The Canucks have life. Even Macklin Celebrini is going along with the chance as well.
I don't know. I see Nikita Zadorov with a second, third opportunity. I saw too many Oilers sitting in front of that traffic in front of the net, and that got a little scary. You don't want to sit back that much and allow just bombs at your net. Here's an opportunity for the Oilers off the rush as McDavid. This is all the more important here. 3:40 left to go in this third. This goes to the right side line. Opportunity Fogle. He's just trying to kill time. I don't blame him. He's doing a great job keeping us alive across the wall. as all of a sudden this game is completely turned. Here's an opportunity, McDavid. He's canceled off with the stick by Shelovs. Spun now for Zach Hyman. 3:15 left to go. The Canucks, inexplicably, they scored 2, and they're within 1. Edmonton was up 3-0. They felt like they were daydreaming throughout this tie. As Conor Garland now around. 3 minutes left to go in Vancouver's season, but now they're only behind by a goal. OT, the way this has gone. And Garland's taken a long time. He's letting his forwards take a change. They're making sure that this rush is measured, and they need to start now, though. 2:40 left to go in the third. Carson Soucy, his chance goes wide. This crowd's really into it now. Garland with you alongside Alec Nava. It was once 3-0 until Carson Soucy. JT Miller, he's already been a hero once. This is intercepted, and Edmonton can safely clear this one across the red line. It bounced off an open helmet of Edmonton as that's in behind the cage. Now an outstretched pass, easily read by Cece. He opened the score. Now Janmark will send minutes left to go in Vancouver's season. Myers now for Pettersson. He's got a ton of speed. We'll try to get this one across the right side red line. Flipped in off. Edmonton try to get it out. They couldn't until the second effort. It's Shelovs escaping his goal crease. 6-on-5. Here's a touch for Pettersson. Gain the entry. Backing around for Desharnais. You can't turn it over here. This goes now to the right side boards. Here's a chip. This will get outside the zone. 1:25 left to go in the third. Miller can't get a clean entry. This will be sent back down to the D court. One of the Oilers blows a tire. Long outstretched pass from 80. Gain the zone. Pettersson, it bounces off his skate. Miller tries to hold it in. 1:05 left to go in the third. It's a bouncing puck. Left side red line. 1 minute left. Spun around the end boards. Gets a goal on the left side boards. JT Miller now on the edge of his shift. It's bouncing. This could go right into the yawning cage. It's a race for the puck. It's Draisaitl off the push. It goes around the net. He can't get a stick back on it. Down to 40. Edmonton in their own end. Bouchard had it for a touch pass. Gain the zone. Dakota Joshua trying to make something happen. This will be lofted back down. Edmonton might survive it, but it was a lot closer than they thought it was going to be. 25 seconds. Joshua back pass. Hoglander try to find an entry. Down to 20. Back around Hyman. Gets pasted. Now 15 seconds in Vancouver's season. Snapshot in front of net, blocked a couple times. Now Edmonton will pick it up. Down to 5. Vancouver's got to shoot at the length. It's over. The Edmonton Oilers survived. They made it in, but they're going to play Dallas on Thursday.
What a defensive effort by Edmonton to hold their ground on the last possessions. They didn't even allow Vancouver to get a clean look at the end a single time. Even with the top guys out there for the Canucks, Paul Coffey's defense answered. Timeout worked for Kris, and he played it to his favor. Vancouver could need a stoppage and use their own timeout to try and counter, and that played to Knoblauch's team. They're going to fight for the Clarence Campbell Bowl starting Thursday at Dallas, Texas.
That was a fantastic block for Matthias Ekholm to end this game. And Calvin Pickard and Stuart Skinner, big hugs there. Again, that's cool to see. I did not expect, Alec, I'll just be honest. I didn't expect this game to come out this way. And you know what I like there? That raw emotion there from Connor McDavid. I love to see that. That's about as fired up as I've ever been, McDavid.
If we look back at the highlights, which he showed lots of emotion, you think of the overtime series winner against Calgary. You think of his insurance marker against LA. He wants to win. He wants the Stanley Cup. He set record books. He's rewritten record books all over across, and you know he wants it. And here we have Kane and Zadorov. exchanging hands on the handshakes. We're surprised that we didn't see any gloves dropped here in this game 7, and especially after what happened in game 6 against Candian, the most physical players on their teams. He thought that there might be something between them, but it just never happened. But no shame in Vancouver. They fought hard, pushed the Oilers to potentially an overtime, and all the way down for the ice. And they fought until the very last whistle. And that, I applaud the Canucks.
You go a 7-game series, and we talked about it a little bit. And honestly, I'm glad that we got a little bit of intrigue toward the end because I thought it was going to go one way only, but we got one. You go a 7-game series, and 6 of the 7 games are decided by 1 goal. I know most people an epic series. There has been so many twin turns. I thought you said it beautifully in the opening. It's kind of been wacky. It's been a little quirky, but it was exciting. It was the Canada, and it really was a battle. I think the best team. I feel like they won, and what happens on Thursday. My plan is to cover that game 1 as well. Tomorrow will be an NBA side with nothing on the NHL. But Alec, sometimes we just take everything up in a blender and throw up the narratives. It ended up being a 1-goal game, and I guess we got the intrigue we were.
And, you know, I must apologize to Owen because we didn't expect this series to be the best series of the second. Overall, so far it's up there with Dallas and Vancouver as the best series of the entire playoffs. But this was peak entertainment.
Yeah, it was. Again, it was right up there with the Avalanche and the Stars, as you said. But I mean, it was crazy, and I'm not sure what to make of it as far for Thursday. I think I can be happy here for the Oilers and say that, hey, we got through this somehow, and his brain needs a little bit of rest and some processing about what we just witnessed.
I think this was the biggest game of epic proportions. People marked this as the most hyped up game 7 of this year's playoffs, and it lived up to the hype from every angle. Yeah, Vancouver, they started slow, but they had a fast finish, even if they didn't finish it off. Edmonton's big second period, that was the big difference maker. And good thing for Owen Wilson to stay for the entire game, did not leave for the parking lot early on because Vancouver did make it interesting. They'll be back here someday. They'll start their cap situation the offseason. I think they'll prioritize Lindholm and Aronin, and then get a new contract for Dakota Joshua. Teddy Bluger, I would think, gets a new contract. They bring back Shelovs, and then they'll think of everything else.
I agree with you. I think those are all the names that I would start with, whether it was like DiGiuseppe or Lafferty or some of the other ones. You could probably move on those from what we're leaning to, but for most of the guys, especially Lindholm and Zadorov that you bought in from the trades, I don't think you could ask any more from those 2 players.
No, they've lived up to what they were brought in from. Somewhere Cooper must be smiling given how hard they played in Vancouver.
Yeah, it's been fun, and they've been good, and we'll see what happens on the Thursday side. I think it's too much insanity for me to ask you who you're going to take in the next. Move over to the basketball side for Boston and Indiana before we jump back into the hockey hijinks. It'll be good to get a day off on that side for the ice. Honestly, I don't know how wild I thought this series was going to go. I will say surpassed all of our expectations, but 6 1-goal games, never could have expected that.
Be the only albatross here, but 6 1-goal games. You got yourselves a masterclass of theater here in the NHL. Wish it could have been more overtime games, but we did get some late game heroics from everyone involved here. Evan Bouchard twice, JT Miller, and then, even though it wasn't a game winner here in Game 7, Matthias Janmark.
Yeah, that was a really nice goal at the 2-on-1 that we had a couple days ago as well. Alec, you take care. Thank you for joining me for this one. It was a lot of fun. I'm glad that we got the finish that we wanted to get. And I'm sorry about your fantasy baseball side for Clay Holmes.
Oh, no, yeah.
We'll talk soon again, my friend. You take care, okay?
We'll definitely talk soon. See you then.
See you. All right, guys. Well, that turned out to be a little bit better of an ending that we were waiting on. But the Edmonton Oilers, they do win this series, and they will play the Dallas Stars. That's on Thursday. So I'll be back tomorrow for the Pacers and the Seas, as I'm going to get a basketball game in while we get the day off. And then I think Wednesday, if Cooper's available, we'll go ahead and swing on the Florida Panthers and the New York Rangers. And then Thursday will be game one in the Oilers and the Dallas Stars. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, that's where I plan on with this stream. And then after that, probably take Friday off, work Saturday, and then take Sunday. So 5 of the 7 days, and I'm glad that we can bring in this one. And we got the intrigue we were waiting for. It just took an extra few minutes. But we'll see you tomorrow.